the transmission. The transmission is live. There we go. We fixed it, Daddy-O. We fixed it, Daddy-O. Not me, the crooner. Oh, boy. Here we go. Live. Coming to you live from the power of the internet. We're taking calls today, folks. We are taking freaking calls. Let's share this. Can somebody share this in the Patreon, please? Can somebody share this in the Patreon? I'll do it. I'll do it, guys. Don't worry. I'm getting this live streaming stuff down, dude. Don't worry. I'm not boomed out forever. We're taking calls starting in 6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. If you want the phone number is exclusive. Phone number is exclusive to Patreon. But it is posted in the Patreon. This is a Patreon-only caller show. Oh, let me go to YouTube and let me post that and pin that. Let me see. Sweet. I really wish I had a better thumbnail, you know? I really wish I had a better thumbnail. Maybe I do. Let's see. We could use this picture of... We'll use that. That's funny. We can do that. We'll use a picture of yeah. Oh, we're getting some likes. We're getting some love. We're getting some love, baby. Yo, get it popping in the chat, baby. Get it popping in the chat. We got 5 folks in here, but that's all right. Let me I should make a post on. I should make a dang on Instagram post, huh? Make a dang on Instagram post. Hang on, folks. Let's go. Yeah, I know you can't see anything. I know that. I just said I was making a post on social media, so I just said that, brother. There we go. All right, let's go. You said that you're my top guy, but you don't even listen? That's not how a top guy works. If you're my top guy, it's because you listen to me. I wonder what's going to happen at 5:45 if no one's going to call. We might get literally 0 calls. This is the first one I'm trying it at Patreon exclusive, so we'll see. This is the first one I'm streaming Patreon exclusive. So we'll see how that goes. Gonna be sick, brother. How's everybody doing, man? How's everybody doing? I'm about to crack this Red Bull. Let's get this Friday going. I got a sweet tan today because I did a 6-mile run. I did a 6-mile gallivant through the hills, and boy, am I tired, bro. I did that today. I did the fight gym. I was fucking on it, dude. I've been researching like crazy. I researched like crazy. I brought you guys that Sabrina. What did you guys think of the Sabrina Carpenter video? I'm so excited for someone to call in about that. That whole thing, man, that was insane. That shit was crazy, dude. That was that that video. That I think that's probably the craziest long theory I've ever done. It has to be. It has to be the craziest by far. Maybe not by far. Let me see. One of the craziest liars was Lana Del Rey. Lana Del Rey weaves the most lies. Lana Del Rey is the biggest liar by far. But why do I always stream when you're at work? Because this is my job. First call. Let's go. You are the first caller. You got about 2 minutes to give me some fire conspiracy or something. What do you got for me? Also, welcome to the show.
It's Ralph again. I don't want to take up too much time. I asked you in the Patreon. I wanted you to expound on it. I was kind of doing my own research. First of all, I love the Sabrina Carpenter video.
Thank you.
I was not expecting her to have the connection to Aleister Crowley and all that stuff. I thought that was really sick.
Yeah.
Can you talk about more about why these people tell us what they're doing ahead of time? Like why can you just explain, like, I know you said it's like part of the magic, but like,
yeah,
how does that work with their occult stuff? Like if they're, if like I think the Sabrina Carpenter stuff was really interesting with the whole Project Monarch, and you saw it again with Katy Perry when she just so happened to hold up a butterfly as she was going up in her space shuttle.
Yep.
Her and those other not going to say it as a good man, but anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Why tell us? How does that impact their magic?
Quick question. Did you listen to the one Izzy's World bonus episode where I talk about kind of the same thing relating to Katy Perry and how? Okay, cool. Yeah. So just so the listeners who are kind of new, so the entire space launch was also a Thelemic ritual. Here's the thing, like Thelema and all of that stuff is super entrenched in the entertainment industry. Like that's what all of Hollywood is, right? So the entire space launch was literally a ritual to literally insert. That's why Katy Perry was saying like it's the divine feminine and all of this stuff, right? Because in Aleister Crowley's mythology, space represents the divine feminine, right? That's why the rocket ship is inserted into space. It's a bunch of weird shit like that, right? But the reason they tell, okay, and the reason they let us know why everything is going on and they do it the way they do it is because it follows something called karmic retribution. Now, with karmic retribution, the way that it works is they read everything they do as if it is a court document. So I don't know if you've ever been to court or if you've ever had like something like a conversation subpoenaed or something, but like when you
I can't say that I have.
No, okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like basically what it is, right? Like if me and you were having a conversation, right? And I go like, "Dude, shut up. I'm going to freaking kill you, bro." You'd be like, "Oh, well, he's joking. He's not going to kill me," right? But to them, they just told you I'm going to kill you. That's what they do. And so they insert it in movies, they insert it in the music, they insert it in things because if you are reading it legalistically, you have been warned and you have been told. That's how they look at everything. So you also have to think about the not even metaphysics. Think about like the legality that like the Christian God has, right? Like think of the way God, that is the Western Christian idea of God. Think of the way that the ancient Jews thought of God. Everything was legalistic, right? That's like what that was the transformation that Christ brought, was that it was super, I healed the lame man on Sunday, and they count that as working, right? They're more worried about him working on Sunday and breaking a rule, breaking a law, than the actual miracle performed or whatever, right? This is the same kind of thing. It's extremely legalistic, the way that they look at these things, especially in the case of the Sabrina Carpenter thing. When we look at something like Scientology, that is extremely auditing based. All of Scientology is based off of auditing and seeing how other people are behaving, etc., right? So it's obviously not just within the karmic retribution thing is not really a Scientology thing, but it is something within the occult that you have been warned, even if it is jokingly, right?
And this is to, I guess I'm just curious their motives. They do this to get the karmic retribution so that they will avoid like getting bad karma, or like what? I mean, what's the idea?
They've told you. So it's like, oh, you're listening to, this satanic music, or you're listening to this stuff, and it's like, well, you know what it is, right? So, because that's the idea. I mean, even within Christianity, right? Like, part of Christianity, in a sense, is you have been told about Christ in some way, shape, or form. Everybody has now. So if you choose to not follow him, and let's say we all die, and let's say that it was the real deal. Let's just say that is for the case of this example. You've been told, right? So it's like you've been warned. I don't really know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I just try to understand what their logic is. I mean, I'm curious if they know that the Abrahamic God is real or not, but they're just kind of doing whatever the hell they want. But if it's a karma thing, I'm thinking, well, they just do a bunch of this. They just want to do whatever they want, and then they can say, well, I told you so. Can't get mad at me.
Right. I mean, you have to think of like what I'm saying with the Abrahamic God thing is like, I'm using that as an example of the legalistic side of the spirit world, right? Like that operates within our world. But the other thing is they know that he's real. That's like the thing. That's like the whole, it's a literal spiritual war. They're choosing a side. And it's not so much, their viewpoint of God is not the same as ours. So their viewpoint of God is almost that like cringe Reddit atheist 14-year-old who is like angry that, God did whatever in the Old Testament, right? It's like, well, why would God choose? They have the hubris and the ego to think that they know better than God, right? It's so funny.
Yeah.
If you've ever spoken to one of these people, and I used to be one of them. I used to be one of these people who was like, well, Lucifer is actually the good guy because he's actually giving us the like, it's like this really stupid mental gymnastic game that works if you're playing thought games, right? Like, that's why I'm like against thought game, because it's like it's just is like we're just gonna think about this forever, right?
It's just sophistry. I think so. I think at the end of the day, it just becomes sophistry. They're not really looking for they're not actually looking for the truth. A lot of those Reddit atheists, they just want to like win the argument.
Right.
Whereas,
because if
I feel like as an honest Catholic would just want to prove that God, just would want people to believe in God and doesn't care if their argument is great or not.
Right.
Which I mean they should, but
But I mean, like this is always the argument I come back to, because a part of having faith in anything, right, is the mystery of it. So like there are things within Christianity that I don't understand, but I still choose to be a Christian because my life is exponentially better than when I'm not. So like an example is like premarital sex, right? Like I was cool. I was in a band. I was cool. People liked me. I was very handsome. I still am kind of handsome. I got bitches, literally. So,
Oh, dude, you're a fake cell, dude. I thought you were bro. You're a fake cell. I'm taking my Patreon money back, dude.
Yeah. No, listen though. Like so obviously I've had premarital sex, but
No, of
now
course, I gotcha.
getting back into Christianity, as hard as I am, I've chosen to be celibate, and I've been dating someone for years, and it's like, I don't understand why God doesn't want us to have premarital sex. I don't know. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, that is something that is a thing. And when you think about it, right, like as someone who's had like sex with, like I was a party guy, whatever, there is something to, that sort of action that you lose a part of yourself in or something. And what's going to end up happening is I'm going to die, and there's going to be, some sort, I believe I'm going to go to heaven or whatever. And there's going to be something where it's like, oh, there's an answer to it. And it's going to be, this is why you were instructed for this. Right. And the thing that's interesting too, is like when I had my near-death experience, and I am going to do a special on that soon, my near-death experience.
Yeah, please do.
It was really weird and interesting because I was having like a manic episode while having a heart attack. And I'm literally like clutching my chest, having a heart attack while dying, while like walking around my parents' house. And it was interesting because like I was seeing objects around the house, right? Like just like like a painting of my mom or whatever it was. And everything started to make sense in this way of like, oh my God, this is why, like when I say in this like sense of like everything is music, it's literal. So like if you have I have my LaCroix on my table right now. It is in that spot specifically for a reason. Every literal minute detail, every single thing is the way it is and cannot be any other way because it throws the cosmic harmony of the orchestra off entirely. So like everything eventually will make complete sense to all of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but the thing, this is the other thing that like, this is the thing with conspiracies, and we'll end on this one and I'll take another call. The thing with conspiracies, and the truth in general is sometimes it just stops. So it's like, okay, well, they want karmic retribution. They want to manufacture that consent, right? They want to manufacture consent from the people they're practicing their magic on. Why? Well, that's just it. That's it.
That's actually a really good point.
Like
that's a really,
it. Like
I never thought of that.
Yeah, because a lot of times
it doesn't have to make sense. They're just like demonic. They have demonic tendencies, I should say.
Yeah, and it makes sense to them. So that's it. It's kind of like why, back when I was a drug addict, why would I do drugs when I can logically deduce that it's ruining my life? Well, I want to.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
but,
actually a good point.
But the thing is too is like, I used to be one of these people who like, I would be like, why? And eventually the rabbit hole, it ends. And it's kind of like, well, now what? Like sometimes the conspiracy I've learned this so much recently. I learned it with Christianity. It was like, okay, there's Christianity, there's something deeper. And then you go deeper and you're like Gnosticism. And then you go deeper, you go so deep.
Yeah.
Then you go so deep that eventually you loop back around to like understanding why the Catholic Church operates the way it does, because it couldn't be any other way. Like, that's where you're like, oh, shit, the conspiracy is it has to be this way. You know what I mean?
Dude, that rocks. Yeah, that rocks. Well, before I let you go, I'm not going to change the subject, but I have family that's from upstate New York, and I was kind of looking into it. There's a high school in upstate New York that's named after this is like public information, so I'm not doxing anybody. It's called Shaker High School.
Okay.
You should look into the Shaker movement. They were like a really weird Pentecostal, like New Age movement that kind of claimed Christianity. One of them, I don't know if you know this, but one of them is named. She was like, I forgot her real name, but anyway, she had like the flu and she almost died, and then she woke up and was like perfectly healed, and she was like, "Mom, Dad, I'm perfectly fine, and I was visited by the spirit of the universe." And then she changed her name to like Universal Friend of God.
Oh,
I can drop it in the Patreon, but dude, I think you should look into it. I think you'll see some like, I mean, I don't know how influential they were. They were really influential in upstate New York, but I just think you should look into it. I think you'd be interested.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out, and I'm gonna go ahead and we had 2 callers while we were talking to you, so I'm gonna go ahead and give them a call back. But dude,
absolutely,
hey,
you have the great work, Izzy. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a Patreon member. I appreciate you, and God bless, dude.
And I'm your top guy, dude. Just remember that, dude. I am the top guy.
Okay, sick. You're my top guy. All right, peace. Oh, another call immediately. They must be watching. All right, 714, you got through. Yo, you got through, 714. You must have been watching. You called the second it ended. What's going on? How you doing today?
Doing good. I'm just driving. I happened to see you were live too, but I honestly just called because I just barely saw that you dropped a number. So I decided why not just give a quick call while I'm driving.
Cool, man. Love it. What's your name?
My name's Anthony, but I go, I guess, by Solano on the Patreon.
Oh, Solano. Dude, what's up? Why are you acting like a stranger? I know who you are, you freak. I know you, dude. What the heck? What the heck? So awesome.
Well, it's not like a parasocial relationship where I'm like,
oh yeah, you don't want to be, you don't want to have a, I get you. Okay, cool. But how's everything been for you, man?
Generally pretty good. It's a nice sunny day. We love about the summer, right? Kind of, I guess it's a little spiritual, but you got to kind of take the energy of the sun, right?
Okay, yeah. You're like a plant. You're like a plant absorbing the sunlight. So I have a question, Solano. You're in the Patreon. How did you feel about the Sabrina Carpenter video?
Yeah, honestly, I think I left a comment there, but I thought it was one of your greatest works to date. It was just insane how, because when you come to a lot of these videos, I'm sure it's kind of almost, I wouldn't say grasping for straws. It's almost trying to find something all the time, because I'm sure it's hard to just come up with something so original just based on research and by, I guess, the power of the Holy Spirit, right? But that felt like something so original and everything about it, where I was like, wow, this is genuinely, like, I've seen plenty of your videos, but that one really took me for, like, something I've never heard before from anywhere else. And that's something that...
Yeah, I mean...
only, like, someone with your ability would able to do. Not to say, like, you're someone like no one else can, but I guess in the way of, like, Rick Rubin, almost.
I'm gonna be honest though, bro. Nobody can do it like me how I do it though. Like we got to be honest about that. But here's the deal, like that. I think that's kind of why I took a break from Long Theories 2 in a sense. Was I didn't want to just be like choose a person and be like let's find something on them. I think that's kind of that's like unfair, and I think too. It's more so if like I feel drawn to like a person's in a certain way to do one, you know what I mean? Like, cause the thing is I'm gonna start doing some of them, and if there's nothing on someone, it's gonna be nothing, So
yeah, it's true. I'm mentioning it a bit, but things with Lord, I feel like that might be interesting once that album officially drops.
Yeah, the Lord stuff is interesting.
Teaser on top of like weirdly like obscene. It's like only promotion material that would only be of the Luciferian age. It's kind of weird. Like everything there is like somewhat Malachian in terms of
it's almost like they're taking
like beyond even transgenderism. It's like the thinking like you're like a formless being that is beyond like gender, but not even within like the normal right boundaries that of society nowadays. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, and you said that's Lord, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look into that.
It'd be interesting if anything else comes up.
What's wild is they're using a lot of the women to like do a lot of this new kind of like telegraphing of their moves. They're using women a lot, and it's so funny because I always get called a sexist when I fucking do this, and it's totally a part of their like agenda is to like, oh, the conspiracy guy found another woman who's doing stuff. Of course it's a woman. So if I do this on lore, I have to like do a man next, and then so I'm switching off every other one, literally, because like I dropped the Chapel Roan video and I put it on YouTube to just try to like, I don't know, get some people over to the Patreon, and people were just like. They're so mad. They think I'm so sexist. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look into Lord. I think the next one in chat, let me know. Should I do Oliver Anthony or should I do Benson Boone? I'm trying to figure out which of the two I might do. Because Oliver Anthony, he was one of the first people I did this on actually, and I went down that rabbit hole pretty good there, and I think I got to bring that one to the people, especially he just dropped a song,
yeah, it's
so we'll see.
What you say about that. I mean, of course he's known to almost be like that quote unquote like right MAGA side of people being like, oh yeah, this is everything that they're speaking out against on our side, but I feel like a lot of things he talks about is beyond that, even with the music industry.
Right.
Like I saw he did I don't know if it was an interview. I think he was like his own YouTube channel where he had like a whole little video just of his life. He was talking a lot about the music industry, and I mean, kind of talking about a lot of the obvious truths just when it comes to the business side, right? It's
Right.
basically them screwing over people.
Yeah.
But even the stuff like that, I find interesting with an artist like that has authentic like indie ties in terms of coming up genuinely from like something, if you want to call it viral, without having the needs of
Right.
basically being
Well,
pushed with
especially
a lot of money
too.
or fake publicity.
Yeah. Well, we have to see because I know, but we have to see, right? Like we have to get to the bottom of it. And I think too, I think it would be good to do some people that give people some hope, because we can't just be getting crushed by the Mons every single time, bro. We can't be just getting Mon crushed. That's fucking not fair, dude. We got to get some of the bros in there. But Solano, dude, you're the man. You've been supported for fucking forever, bro. And I appreciate
Yeah, I feel like
it
I
a
was
ton.
here since like literally the birth of
Dude,
Patreon.
you have seen it all, and I bet you it's kind of sick on your end to see like the production's getting super high. It's like, dude, those early Patreon videos are wild. Like the quality's like so bad. It's like me just like yelling, and it's cool,
I thought
man.
it was cool though. You know, it almost was like this very. I know everyone says underground, but it's almost like this very like exclusive club, and still is in a way, because of course you're only still growing your audience and production and whatnot.
Yeah.
But just like the very like start of it, first couple months, it was.
Yeah.
And I really found cool, and I know you've kind of implemented in your like Izzy World videos, but some of those early videos, I forget what the series was called, but basically you go into like occultic ideas.
Yeah, the Project
and
Oracle
theories,
stuff. The Project Oracle stuff. That people really love that still. I have to figure out a way to like do I don't know, man. It's hard. There's only so much time. There's not like I got a bunch of stuff going on, but yeah, man. But like I said, dude.
I don't want to take too much time, but I did want to ask you real quick.
Yeah, what you got? What you got, dude?
Yeah, I guess just because there's been recent discussion, I feel like this is an interesting point to discuss with you. Anyways, recent discussion about Travis Scott and that whole Astroworld thing that went on. And of course, there's initial conspiracies, but
right.
I feel like it's been a lot in the limelight as of recent because of the Netflix documentary that recently dropped on it. And I've seen so many people like on TikTok almost talking, but even kind of being on the conspiratorial side. You know, it's a lot more of like mainstream Christians being like, something seems very demonic here. But, you know, I feel like they're on to something. And I just kind of want to bring up, and if you have any thoughts of the possibilities of like almost like energy transfers from a potential like ritual like that, where of course you see the imagery and some of the weird like signs and messages that they were presenting during the show or before the show.
Right.
But it's just if there's anything there where when there's so much like death that potentially was caused for a reason, because it seems like almost stereotypical, like, oh, we allowed this to happen, you know, we didn't mean it to happen, right? But when you look at the facts, it looks like they intentionally let all these things happen for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about like, I mean, all of the imagery should tell you right there. I kind of went into it on one of the Izzy's World about how there was the thing where he had a bunch of people hanging upside down, and I thought that was really interesting. There was like, I think it was 12 people that were hanging upside down, and I don't remember how many people died at Astroworld. I think it was 10, but I don't really know. But yeah,
people are even theorizing that it's been more than 10, and people either got paid off or there's something odd, because people were like saying, like people who were on the site, whether it's security or medics, being like there was way more than just 10 bodies that are just falling on the ground. So
yeah, well,
I mean, it's one of those like who knows what happened, but I just find the concept of a potential ritual, if there is some sort of weird energy or sacrifice that.
Well, I mean, he was hanging out with
more significant.
Right. He was hanging out with Michelle Lammy, like really, I don't know if it was right before. I think it was right before. He was hanging out with Michelle Lammy, and they were doing these sort of like transcendental meditations where he was emptying himself out. There's photos of it all over. These photos have actually been going kind of viral recently. And he's like laying, down on his back, and she's like looking up into space or whatever. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, especially when I've done the Michelle Lemmy breakdowns, and she's essentially she worships ball. She's literally a ball worshiper, and I've proven that time and time again. And yeah, man, I mean, it's definitely something there.
Yeah, I get it. So it's something there, but of course you could only.
I mean, I can't.
Get
I mean, he
too deep
didn't
into
like
it so much. You know, you can't say for sure. You know.
Yeah, I can't say like.
But you know, there's something there.
Right, like it's but that's how everything with this is, right? It's like,
yeah.
If I am sitting at this table and there's white powder all over it, and I'm acting really energetic, you can say that there's a bunch of clues indicating I'm doing drugs, but if you know what I'm saying, like that's how this whole thing. It's kind of like the Sabrina Carpenter thing, right? It's like part of what my job is to do when it comes to this part of what it is to present all of the quote unquote coincidences in a manner that will show people that there is something more going on, right? Like it's funny because I think the Sabrina Carpenter video honestly turned a lot of people, because I've seen like 5 or 6 comments that were like, you know, I'm somebody that chalks a lot of things up to coincidences, and this is just too many, you know, because like, how many is too many? How many is too many, bro? You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I agree.
Even the whole Spielberg thing, you know, that was the wildest part to me, just because I always find him to be an odd figure in general, right? Because the big conspiracy side of Eyes Wide Shut, right, was, oh, they killed him because he attempted to, and I feel like there is something there, maybe a little bit of nuance on both sides, but saying like, oh, he was attempting to reveal something more, but at the same time, I feel like he played a part in the game, right? Whether it was with, you know, moon conspiracy theories and whatnot, everything else going on, especially with other points in your video. Like, I find him to be a interesting figure in like the zeitgeist.
Yeah. Well, I think, but here's the deal, bro. Like everybody is, so the game. Let's picture reality as a game. No matter what you do, you are a part of the game in some way, somehow, to someone. So me, for example, okay, yeah, I have these videos and it brings people the truth. You know, obviously there are people who don't want that, and there are people who do want that. But one way that even the people who don't want me to be doing what I'm doing can capitalize positively on what it is that I'm doing is by inserting individuals into comment sections who can start fights, or having me be an agent that causes chaos. You know what I'm saying? So there is ways that they can make anybody useful to anyone for anything, and that is the game that they play. The game they play is a reactionary one, right? Like,
that's true. Yeah,
they
that's the whole point of the algorithm. You know, it's only if you can get some sort of reaction from someone, whether it's bad or negative. You know, if you can attract a lot of reactions, then the algorithm is going to work their way.
Yeah.
Whether or not it angers people, or I don't know, I guess.
No, yeah, 100%, 100%. Like, dude, like my early videos, I think a lot of the reason they blew up was literally because people were fighting. It was like you had like 75 deadheads in a comment section at one time, losing their minds. But yeah, man. But Solano, I appreciate you calling in, brother. I'm gonna give one of these other people a call back, or see if we grab another call. But dude, you've been here since day one. You're gonna be here until the heat death of the universe happens eventually. So I appreciate you, brother.
I'm gonna be here until you know, hopefully we uncover some ground, you know. But
yeah, until a Palantir, until a Palantir agent comes to my house and shoots me in the head.
Yeah, that's likely for everyone. I haven't even watched myself because I always like to leave cheeky little comments. Either if it's something like somewhat anti-Israel, like obviously I'm never gonna be super extreme on one side, but
yeah.
What was weird is today I left a comment on something I think yesterday, just kind of saying, right, the obvious of like the influence of, you know, that certain country on our country, right? And I got a comment from someone with like a dog profile picture, you know, it's that whole that weird fiasco.
Always a dog profile picture.
Overtime.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like weirdly like 1,000 followers, private account, dog profile picture.
Dog profile pic. Yep. There you go. There you go. Just for the listener. All right. So Solano, thank you so much, brother. I'll call you back, or I'll talk to you soon.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're good, brother. Peace. Yeah. So what Solano is talking about is, I had a video where I talked about how feds will use literal feds on social media platforms will always use a dog profile picture when they are on their troll accounts, when they're trying to sow dissent in comment sections, etc. A lot of people also always ask, like, why would feds be in comment section? That's like so stupid. As somebody who runs an account that reaches 5 million people a month, okay, new record, baby, new record. One single comment can literally change the entire reaction to a video. So I have literally had videos where, people are loving it, right? And then one person leaves a comment like, man, this guy sure is XYZ. And then other people start liking it, and all of a sudden that becomes the top comment. And all of a sudden the reaction to the video is completely different. Though the comment section, in my opinion, is the new public square, dude. I know that sounds silly. That sounds ridiculous. I'm telling you right now, but I'm going to go ahead and give one of our callers a call back. If you're in the chat, if you're watching right now, you can go to the Patreon and get the phone number. You can either sign in as a free trial. I do free trials, but also free members. You can be just a free member. You don't have to pay. Okay? You don't have to pay. The Patreon is where I do every single thing, bro, and we're getting back to the long theories. We got either Benson Boone or Oliver Anthony this week. We got to see. Do we want a hootin' and holler, or do we want a country bumpkin to tell us what's going on? Let's call this number back. Let's see if they pick up.
Oh?
Yo, you just called Izzy's plane. I'm giving you a call back.
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
What's going on? Who am I talking to?
This is Malachi.
Malachi, dude, what's up? Solid name. What's going on? Did you have any questions? What did you have for the call-in show?
I don't have anything too deep, but I was watching one of your old videos.
Okay.
And you said something about drugs make you more open to the influence of demons.
Yes.
And I had a phase where I was going through like trad Catholicism.
Okay.
Because I started off as a Protestant.
Okay.
So I'm just looking through other denominations.
Okay.
And there's this video by this guy called I Miss Christendom. He had a video talking about kind of like, what's it called, the Pentecostal, more like feeling the fire of the Spirit Christians, like ones that would roll around on the floor and stuff like that.
Right.
And he said there's like videos how to feel the Spirit in you. So we did one of those.
Uh-huh.
And he said it felt like weed, and whenever he'd try to do the Hail Mary, he would feel a spirit stopping him.
Uh-huh.
So
okay.
I had an experience like this because I have experience with weed, and I had an experience like that where I was off weed kind of around Easter, where I kind of had like a sleep paralysis, and it felt like I was stoned. And so that was a connection that I made from your video.
Interesting. Yeah. So do you want to tell us more about it, or do you want me to just kind of answer it? Because we could do either one. What are you thinking?
Yeah. Is it like something spiritually in either the drug or like what it feels to be under the influence of a demon, to where it kind of feels like the same thing?
So, okay. So drugs in general, right, invoke demons, because essentially what demons are is they're the disembodied spirits of Nephilim, right? So when, in Genesis, when the angels came down and they mated with women, they had kids, those became the giants, those became the Nephilim. When those spirits died, okay, they became demons. They can't go to heaven, right? And I've read things where they don't necessarily go to hell. They just kind of linger around on earth. There's not really a place for them. They're abominations. They're not supposed to exist, right? They don't.
Yeah.
They're disharmonious to what God has created. So, because of this, demons seek out bodies, and when they seek out bodies, they are seeking out the pleasure that they were able to have while they had bodies. I don't know if you've ever been drunk. Being drunk rocks. I love alcohol so much, I can't have it because it ruins my life. I love it. I love it more than anything. Anything, I love it more, right? And that's what these demons essentially are seeking. And it's interesting that you say you watched a video and the guy watched a video on how to sort of invoke a spirit or try to invoke the Holy Spirit, right? Well, whenever you are doing this, it's very dangerous because when you are opening yourself up, anything can come in. Anything. It's not always Holy Spirit, right? Like, there's a very specific, particular time, when Holy Spirit kind of like gets in you. I don't really know a better word, but like when Holy Spirit, that's why I have the sound button on this board, Holy Spirit activate, right?
Holy Spirit activate.
Because it kind of it just happens. It just happens and then you're there, right? Like it'll happen while I'm doing the videos. Like it became a meme, it became a joke, right? Because I'll be researching a bunch of stuff. All of a sudden I'll see a bunch of connections that I didn't see before or that normally nobody else would see, and that's literally Holy Spirit moving through me, moving through the research, literally connecting these things. And so when you're doing something like an invocation or an envocation, there's two types of this within the occult. It's super dangerous because anything can sneak its way in there. And when you're high on drugs or you're drunk, your inhibitions are lowered. The things you care about are lowered. You're inebriated. You like when I was drunk, dude, I used to just say whatever I wanted whenever. I still kind of do, but I would say it more. I would say whatever, right, and it's the things you limit yourself, your limitations are lowered. And so the Mons know that, and they'll sneak right in. And yeah, it's really a thing. It's really definitely real, definitely a thing. In fact, alcohol, it literally comes from I think it's an Arabic word, alcohol, which literally is means it's literally a demon. That's literally what it means.
Really?
Yeah, and that's also why they used to call them spirits. And there are people like me, when I drink, I literally become a different person. Like I speak differently. I have an accent. I'm a completely different person. I'm not even the same.
Wow.
Yeah. So especially you got to be careful with all that stuff, but also, right, like the Bible itself, it doesn't say, if you're partaking in something, right, it says drunkenness is a sin, not drinking alcohol, right? Jesus biblically drank wine, right? But he minded his P's and Q's, I guess, because he never sinned. But yeah, that's just something to just be weary of. And yeah, don't ever watch a YouTube video and go, I'm going to use this information to put a spirit in my body. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, anyways, thanks for the call, man. Big fan. My voice is a little bit shaky. Sorry if it was a bit hard to understand.
Dude, no, you're chilling. You're chilling,
yeah,
bro.
Big fan of your work.
Cool.
Yeah, lots of love.
I appreciate it so much. Thanks for being on the Patreon. God bless, brother, okay?
God bless.
Peace. Awesome. Sweet. We've had all the calls. See, the patrons are respectful. Those are the bros. That's so sick. That's so cool. Anyone else wants to call? The number is posted in the Patreon, baby. You guys can give us a call. Give me a call. It's interesting. He was talking about how this person was saying that they couldn't say the Hail Mary. If you guys were watching a stream, the second stream I did, I went to say a prayer at the end of the stream to bless everybody as we exited. I forgot the Our Father. I've been saying the Our Father since I was literally a baby. I've never not known the Our Father. I've never forgot the Our Father in my entire life. And it came after I interviewed that guy. And I'm not talking crap about anybody. Very nice person to me, whatever. A lot of weird stuff happened after that. A lot of weird stuff. Somebody sent me lyrics to old songs that he sends demons to people in their sleep. That night I had a sleep paralysis demon. Okay, so we had to shake the Mons off. We had a Mon attack. We were getting Mons a ton. Okay, so we had to shake them off. But hey, we got another call right here. Let's see. Let's call this one right here. Let's call this person back. They left a voicemail. I don't really listen to the voicemails, but let's see. Let's call this one back right here. I don't want to say the number. Let's go here. Yeah. I'm not sure how to do this. It's not working. But yeah. So, anyways, again, the number. Are synchronicities the Holy Spirit? Kind of. Yeah. I would say so. I think synchronicities are. Yeah. Synchronicities, yeah, they're like God. They're a lot of times it's like a message for me. I've been getting 333 like the last 3 days. I looked at the time, it's 3:33. Received a thing. I have 333 things. 333 everywhere. 333 everywhere, bro. But yeah, that's kind of one of the things. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. So crazy. I was listening to Oliver today. The universe is crazy. Yeah. Well, Anthony Oliver did just have a song come out. So sometimes it's synchronicity. Sometimes it's just things. There's no coincidences though. If you believe in coincidences after the Sabrina Carpenter video, I don't know what to tell you. Jarl said epic goth money shirt. Yeah, they're my homies, bro. They're my friends. They're the people helping me. The people who design Goth Money's clothes are helping me with Ystar. My entire childhood was so much 333 it freaked me out. Interesting. Yeah, to me, I think 333 is like literally like Holy Spirit because it's 3. Whatever. I was listening to his new album, though, not the new song. You're talking about Fried Rice is talking about Oliver Anthony. Yeah. Oliver Anthony, yeah, he had Scorned Woman come out. Was his first album good? It's interesting. I listened to Scorned Woman. There's a lot of soul in it. You know what's interesting about recording music if you've never have, or maybe you have, I don't know. When you record music, there is something about it where it captures the energy in the room. It's the weirdest thing. It is so bizarre. And I don't know how it is because it somehow is able to capture your essence and what you meant. You know what I mean? Like how you felt. It's so weird. When it comes to how music is recorded and how sorry, I'm writing down this number so I can call it back. How music is recorded and how video and images are recorded and cameras work, that shit blows my fucking mind. I will always think that that's witchcraft, 100%. I will never not understand that. All right, we're going to be calling this individual back right now. Might have to post the number publicly if we're not getting calls. Hello, this is Izzy. You called the show earlier?
Yeah, hey Izzy, it's your friend Uncle John. What's up?
What's up, John? How are you doing, bro? Hey, guess what? Sorry, dude. Sorry, your number's not in my Google Voice. I don't know.
Were you hoping I was a troll and were you hoping to roast me?
I was
alive?
hoping to roast you. I literally, it's so funny, bro. I literally have a. I don't want to. I'm not gonna ruin it. But if you were a troll, I have something for you.
Oh, dang, dude. Is it like a firecracker? Like if you do it, does it ruin
Shut
it
up, dude.
forever?
Yeah, it ruined. If I was gonna say what I was gonna say, it would have ruined it forever. People would not be impressed.
Like, is it something that's in the can for like the next troll that calls, or have you already told people you have something special?
No, it's something. It's like a technique. It's a technique.
Do you want to role play for a second? Make
Dude!
sure you
Oh
got
my
it
God!
locked
Wait,
down?
hang on, dude! This is so funny. YouTube just fucked up, and it just showed the true numbers of the viewers. Oh my God! It messed up. I just jumped from 34 to 56 viewers in 1 second.
That's insane. I thought when you said they exposed the true numbers that it like showed my phone number. I was like, wait, did I just get doxxed on your live
No,
stream?
you're not.
So
You're
that's
not.
not cool.
No, you're not going to be doxxed. You're fine. But dude, everybody's talking about the Sabrina Carpenter video. What do you have? I feel like you got some good stuff. We talk all the time. If you guys don't know, John is a friend of mine.
I do have some good stuff, Izzy.
What do you
I'm
got?
glad we didn't talk earlier today because I have somebody in my camp
Mm-hmm.
who
Mhm.
I gotta tell them the lore. You know the lore, but I'll tell the people.
Yeah,
the
tell
lore.
the people. Tell the people.
So I've got a friend who she does tour management in LA with people, not with Sabrina or with Chappie,
Right.
but with people in that realm.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually sent her the Sabrina video you made on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, put your tinfoil hat on. Let me know what you think of this. And she's really great. Like, she's a really close friend. So she said, I'm going to watch it. And so she watched it, and she was like, she said, hang on, I'll read you what she said. Hope I'm not killing your live stream time.
No, you're not killing the live stream at all. You're helping a lot. A lot of people from Patreon. It's a Friday afternoon, and live streams are all usually kind of dead on Fridays. And so a lot of people aren't calling right now. So you can take some time. John is a friend of mine. John helped me code the Discord. The Discord is coming
I'm
a
still a
long
mod,
way.
dude. I've
Yeah,
still got mod
you are
status.
still a mod. You are still a mod, and if you don't start acting right, you're not going to be a
know.
mod because
I know.
you heard. I told you today who's watching. I told you today who's
I know.
watching, and John has some inside information. The people who are watching, those people in that 38, I make jokes that it's candy, and I make all these jokes all the time. If I said the names, you guys would treat me a lot differently. Just telling you right now. Wouldn't they, John?
Okay, wait. So they would treat him differently. Do you want to hear what my friend said?
Yeah, so this is this person works with Sabrina and or is in the camps of Sabrina and Chappie.
She works for people who have toured with
Chappie
I get you. And Sabrina at various points over the years.
Okay.
And she said, I haven't told you exactly what she said. She said, all I could think about while watching was how hard Sabrina would laugh if she watched it. And I said, wait, is that so crazy? Is this whole thing crazy, like even by a little? Like Scientology is wild, right? And she said, no, for sure it's weird that her aunt is a Scientologist, but I've also heard her say it's weird that my aunt is a Scientologist. And then I gave her more lore, and I said, I mean, Sabrina might be like totally not in the loop on any of this stuff, but I made a great point, and I thought during your video, something that really stuck with me was like, it doesn't matter if Sabrina knows about this or thinks any of this stuff is real. The fact that Crowley and the Selimites who believe it's real, and like she could unknowingly be used as whatever vessel.
That would make it better. That would literally make it better if she didn't know. I mean, and that was a big point of the video. I was like, she might not know any of this. That's like what's fucked up about it. Because
I don't think she has any idea. Like, but from what I can gather, like I trust my friend, but also like it's the music industry. It's not like Sabrina Carpenter is going to be like, hey, actually, now that we're really, really close friends, let me tell you what's actually good. Like,
Right. I mean, like, of course, like,
you're never going to know.
yeah.
But I think for the most part, like, people in that industry, and I know people in that industry, they are normal-ass people, but it's the people who are not normal people that live in the shadows and lurk and the Thelemites, like, they run shit. There's symbologies all over Hollywood.
You know what's so funny is the people that I know in the industry are people who would literally say what she said to you and have a fucking altar, a thelemic altar in her room. I swear to God. I know.
Well, her shirt at the beginning of the video said, like, that's not nothing.
Yeah, like that's what's so funny, right? Is it's like, hey, Sabrina would think this is so funny. It's like, yeah, I'm sure she would, dude. She got fucking found out. She got found out, bro. And now it's like, I don't know, dude. You know what's funny? You know what's so funny? I swear. Like, you remember the part of the video where I say that she responded to a comment asking if she was a Scientologist? Debunked, babes. She's like, debunked, babes. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
I'm in your same camp, and I'm not meaning to knock on my friend, but like I know my friend.
Well. Oh, I'm not knocking on your friend at all.
They have no idea about any of this stuff.
Yeah, I'm not knocking your friend at all.
When they watch this video of a kooky guy with a red hat talking about fucking Thelema and all this other stuff, and they're like, I don't know what this is talking about. The weirdest thing I could comprehend about my acquaintance Sabrina is that she's connected to Scientology. You're speaking a different language, bro. But that's like,
dude, she was here. Let's think about this. Someone just said in the comments she was a Disney actress. Like, look at all of those fucking Disney.
You have me at Disney.
Yeah, like, dude, like, come on, bro. Like, think about this. Like, I'm sure Sabrina would laugh. Fucking Disney secretly propped up the Costco guys. Like, what are we talking about here, dude? Like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's through the like the agency they work with.
Yes, dude.
Disney owns that agency. Remind me of the video. I watched the video. I just forgot.
Yeah, it's the Night Media video on Patreon. But no, that's the thing. I don't know. Your friend sounds nice and everything, but you also had another friend. Is this the same friend who said that like Chappie is bipolar?
I mean, everybody knows Chappie's bipolar.
Yeah. So
I'm also not trying to like shit on my my inside source, and I think my inside source also doesn't care about most of the stuff we're talking about. I think the biggest overlap is that she meets us on. Well, never mind. I don't want YouTube to shut down.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, don't. Yeah. No. Okay. Really?
She's aligned with us on certain things.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay. No.
Yeah.
But no, that's interesting. You know, and I think that it is always good to have people who are skeptical of anything, because it kind of can. It's really easy to take this stuff and get real carried away with it. Like, it's so easy.
Oh, for sure.
Because, I mean, there is a possibility that I would say less than 1% that all of those things are just coincidences. I mean, there's a possibility. But you know what's another possibility, and this is entirely possible. And I would be a charlatan and a fucking grifter if I didn't say this. Like, I would be trying to start a cult. There is a chance that Sabrina Carpenter's team or their people are following the script of what Kubrick and them did. Does that make sense? Like, they're retroactively creating a career where you can make these connections, right? Like, that's entirely possible too. But this is what's funny. It's like Sabrina would laugh at this so hard. You know what else she laughed at? She laughed when she hit on a 16-year-old at a concert and asked if they were horny. And then she also laughed. She also laughed when people asked her if her photo shoot was inspired by the 1997
That part was crazy.
the 1997 adaptation of Lolita, and she claimed that she didn't know what Lolita was while she's literally reenacting the photos. Like, I'm sorry, dude.
Do you want to hear a funny as shit unrelated story? That I used to work in a summer camp for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And my buddy and I at
go
summer
off,
camp,
King. I'm grabbing a drink. Hang on. Go off. Hang on 1 second.
You did. So my friend and I, we were trying to read like American literary classics while working at the summer camp. and we were just blind choosing them off a list. And one of the books that we chose unknowingly was Lolita, and so we were like reading Lolita at like a summer camp for kids. And we got a certain part into the book, and we were like, we should not be reading this book here. We threw it away. That was a funny anecdote from my past that happened.
Oh, there you go. Well, hell yeah, dude. I was grabbing a LaCroix. I didn't hear it. That was great for the listeners. They probably dug it.
What did the chat think about my story?
Chat said, LOL, you guys are so gay. This guy needs to KYS. Just kidding, dude. No,
what
chat.
does KYF mean?
KYS? You got to look it up. No, chat's kind of dead right now. They're just enjoying the calls. But yeah, I mean, that is cool that you like you got someone close enough to Sabrina that like there's a chance that she sees it. That would be sick. That would be sick if she like retweeted it and said, "Oh my God, this is real."
I don't think.
Why
from
would
what I can understand,
you know
they
what
weren't-
would
they?
You know what's funny?
Go ahead.
You know what's so funny? The perfect response to something like this, if it's true, is to laugh it off.
Oh, 100%. I mean,
Because-
that's like the ultimate gotcha. It's like, oh, this is so silly.
Like this
I
is
watched the Brett Favre documentary last night, and they asked the man about his allegations, and he like chuckled it off.
right.
That's like the number one symbol
That's
of
what
like
you do.
you're guilty. is
That's
you
what you do.
laugh off.
That's exactly what you do. It's just like,
Yeah.
dude, it's the Trump method. Never apologize. Never admit you did anything wrong, and just steamroll ahead. You steamroll ahead.
I have no idea who Thelema is. She sounds hot.
Yeah. What do you think? Someone just said, just a heads up, Izzy, her team is probably watching your Insta. I mean, there's no way she doesn't, dude. There's no way she doesn't know about the video. I mean, I have 5 million people a month who look at my Instagram. There's no way. There's literally no fucking way. You know what I mean?
Dude, I think it just probably goes across. So much shit goes across her team's plate.
Yeah. I mean,
did I ever tell you my aunt used to live across the hallway from the PR lady who used to do like Justin Bieber's PR and stuff?
no, you never told me.
Yeah, she used to live across the hallway from her, and they were like really tight, which is crazy. She's like famous. Like she was part of the whole like Ryan Reynolds lawsuit or whatever.
Oh wow, interesting. That's kind of cool.
Where Ryan Reynolds got cut hardcore.
Yeah, I didn't really look much into the Ryan Reynolds thing. You know,
I mean, it's just Hollywood bullshit.
You know what's one thing I kind of learned a lot about with this video was how little. So like, you know that like there are people like I would say you know more than the average like quote unquote conspiracy theorist, right? Like I would say you do, right? But
I don't think I know as much as like Weez or like other people, but I would say I'm not far behind him.
right. So yeah, so more than the average person is kind of what I'm saying.
Correct.
But you know
yeah.
what I kind of I've kind of been seeing is like people who are like your kind of level who like they know a lot but they don't know like as much as me, or I'm like top 1% of 1%, right? But like this the comments are like, huh, yeah, this has already been talked about. Like literally, like, yeah, Sabrina Carpenter's the moon child. We get it. And it's like, you are conflating two different things. Like the people who think they know the most really know the most rudimentary basic shit. And then they confuse it with everything else. And it ends up making them stupider than most of the people who are just trying to learn.
Yeah, there was an interesting thing when you said earlier when you were talking about there's a big difference, and I think about this a lot when I'm looking at conspiracy type stuff. Is there are things that are plausible, that are like pretty. You would go beyond a shadow of a doubt that something is real if you say it's plausible. Plausible deniabilities, they say it for a reason, and then there's possible, and then the thinner the line between plausible and possible gets, that's where like panic sets in, like, and
Right.
the panic can go in many different directions. I'm thinking of it in terms of like searching for answers. Like with a lot of the stuff that you talk about and that interests viewers, the line between plausibility and possibility is either like really thin or really thick. And some of the things you talk about, the line's a little thicker. Some of the things, the line's much thinner. But like the realm of possibilities endless, and I feel like with all of this conspiracy stuff, it takes a lot of discernment, which is something you talk about a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of discernment that's involved with like what's a stretch and what isn't a stretch. And I think what's cool is that I didn't know as much about like the Thelemic magic and what they believed until you broke it down in like the early OG videos, and that helped inform a lot. Because like I mean, it's hard. Like I don't want to say I believe in that stuff, but I guess I do because I'm like fighting against it. You know?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like I've been saying, right? Like, excuse me, the magic is just a perspective. Like,
right.
Magic, like the TikTok algorithm is, to me, is magic. I don't know how it works. I don't know how to code. I don't know. So to me, that's like it's magic, right? So it's like a perspective thing. The Jungian archetypes are these universal archetypes that exist outside of psychiatry. They exist outside of tarot, and people use the word magic to, describe them. It's kind of like a catch-all. It's easier to say magic than it is to say, have a different word for every single fucking thing. It's easier to do it. It's a way to simplify kind of reality in a weird way, but then people
is some of this stuff like Schrodinger's cat-esque,
like what,
like pointing like
100%. That's what you just described. Magic, that's what it is. If you believe it's magic, it is. If you believe it's not magic, it's not. And that is the key. I literally just taught a bunch of people like magic unintentionally. That's, if you believe it's magic, it becomes magic, and things start happening differently for you, literally.
Yeah.
Because
so is there a difference then if you're like, I guess to denounce the bad magic, that's just ultimately surrender to God? Yeah.
So the reason magic is bad is because magic is you are making the universe, you're subjecting the universe to your will. So that is why magic is bad, right? So like, let's say the Schrodinger's cat magic. I believe in magic now. Okay, magic's real.
Okay.
I then do things to influence my reality using magic. So, I believe I'm gonna go on tour with fucking Young Lean. I believe it. What ends up happening through that belief starts to change your actions. Your actions are then different. If I believe I'm going to go on tour with Young Lean, I'm going to probably start dieting. I'm probably going to start going for runs. I'm probably going to change things in my life to manifest that, right? So you're making reality listen to you. Now, there are more serious ways of doing like what would be considered black magic, right? Of like, you can work really hard for something and it's not really like real it's not magic, right? It's just like you believe it's going to happen. Or there's like, I'm going to kill this black cat because its energy is going to be used to aid what I want, right? So like you're then you're killing something, you're subjecting it to your will, right? And you're also doing things to get the things you want because those things do not align with what God has in store for you, right? So that's when it becomes really problematic in black magic and all that other stuff. But personally, I'm someone, I think any kind of magic is really, kind of bad. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It just seems like it seems like somebody could spin their wheels for a really long time and get very like obsessive compulsive about trying to like discern.
That's what people are doing. Someone just commented there's white magic, gray, black, and red. And it's like there is, but there isn't. It's all magic. It's all.
See, that's crazy. I'm just trying to live my life.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like if like I don't know. It's kind of like there's different genres of music. It's all music. You're still listening to sounds. You know what I mean?
So you can just say we're living in a magical reality.
We are living in a magical... And it's so much more fun to believe. That's like a big part of this, literally, is like believing that, magic is real. It makes reality fun. It makes it more interesting.
It's the same thing with like God, by embracing the mysteries of
Right.
apostolic church and stuff, it's like, okay, well, we're not actually giving answers to everything that are like kind of half baked. Like we're just letting the mystery be what it is.
It's not even that it's half baked. It's just that's what it is. Like the first call today, somebody called in today and they were like, "Well, what's up with the karmic retribution thing?" And like them telegraphing everything that they do. Like, why do they do that? And I explained it as, I explained it like, well, they personally believe that if they tell you everything and you still listen to it or you still engage with it in the way in which they want you to, you are giving them consent. I explained that. And then it's kind of like, that's it. There is no amazing, like, it's not like gold starts falling out of the sky or there is nothing more. That is it. That's it. You know what I mean?
Can you explain karmic retribution to me again? Because like you mentioned it a lot, and I kind of get it, but I don't think I get it enough.
So karmic. Oh God, the listeners are going to be so pissed. I'll explain it really quick.
Right, well, tell me later.
No, you're good. Karmic retribution is essentially, like, telling you what's going to happen before it happens. So it's like. It's why why Kubrick included all that stuff in all those movies and all that stuff. It's
so
why.
What does that do to them on like a magical level in their theory?
It gives them consent to be able to do whatever they're doing. You can't really perform.
It's like me telling you I'm going to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
And then I punch you in the face, and it's like, well, I told you I was going to do it, so you shouldn't be mad.
Yeah. So like all of exactly. That's exactly what it is. Like, okay, like so the person is saying, I have friends that were satanic Luciferian as well as Azazel cults. They tell me about all of this. It's like, okay, that's great. Those are all different genres of the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like Satan and Lucifer are the same thing, but in a different way. You know what I mean? Or it's like, it's kind of like everything can be, it's the opposite of deduced. What would be the opposite of a deduction?
An addition.
Yeah, but like not in that way. It's like a funnel. You know what I mean? It's like how everything inherently eventually ends up becoming kind of like satanic in a way, where you have to use discernment, like we're talking about.
I think I get what you're
Sorry,
saying.
I'm kind of replying to chat, and I'm kind of but yeah.
Okay.
But no, yeah, it's exactly that. It's manufactured consent. You're getting consent. And it kind of shifts over the type of quote-unquote magic that it is. You're shifting it over, right? Like, if I am performing some sort of ritual or whatever, and I don't have your consent, it's considered like black magic, right? That's what it's considered.
Right.
But if you kind of know in this roundabout kind of way, it shifts it over to what, this person in the chat or whatever is saying is gray magic or whatever. Or white magic. Not white magic, really, but yeah. I don't know. I just think that when people try to use, like, it's justifying it. It's black. It's not black magic. It's like gray magic, actually. It's like the lightsaber colors. Like, we're really going to do this? Like, oh, he has the red lightsaber. He's a bad guy, but he has the green one. The green lightsaber is for Jedis that are trying to seek knowledge, actually. And the blue lightsaber is for people who are actually seeking protection. If you have a blue lightsaber, you're actually using the defense modes.
Let's just say that there's a red lightsaber that is very, very bad, and the dark side, of course.
That actually means you're using foam number 2 that was popularized by Obi-Wan.
Black lightsaber that makes everything.
That's literally what they're like. Actually, it's like Yu-Gi-Oh mixed with fucking Star Wars. Well, I just pulled my Hanged Man Tarot card, and this major arcana actually means you're going to be thinking about things for quite some time.
Mace Windu had a purple lightsaber. Many folks don't know that he was a gay person. That's a purple lightsaber.
Dude, I love the fact that Mace Windu literally wanted to have a purple lightsaber just so he could stand out on screen. And then George Lucas was like, yeah, sure. So he gives it to him. And then all of the Star Wars fan base, they have to cope with that. So they're like, we have to write lore for every lightsaber color. It's like, this is honestly, that's literally what people who are super into the occult are like. They're like, oh, well, I didn't really expect for your behavior to be super erratic. It's probably because Pluto is in a nemesis moon it's an a Nemesis moon Taurus redux phase.
Yeah, it sounds like what they call butter knifing. They're trying to cut a steak with a butter knife, and they're trying to figure it out so they
That's
don't get in
so
trouble.
fucking funny. Actually, Mercury is in a Beast Leprechaun Wrangler Town fair mode. I don't really think that I'm allowed to go with you with this.
That's wild.
That's funny, dude. But
All right,
anyways,
I'm getting in trouble because I'm talking.
yeah,
too loud and
I could feel the energy shift. All right, brother, have a good one.
Yeah. Thanks, bro. Have a fun stream.
I will later, brother.
Bye.
Peace. That was moderator of the Discord, John. If you'd like the Discord as well as the phone number is in the Patreon. Okay, guys. Okay. Now I'm not trying to get you all over the Patreon. It's literally this is the stuff that's free if you want to interact. If you want to interact, bros. Okay. What Disney did to Star Wars was criminal. It's like they ravaged the franchise intentionally. Watching Star Wars YouTube collapse has been sad too. Yeah, no, Star Wars. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, this is a great segue. Lawakun, thank you, dude. Lawakun, I owe you, bro. I gotta get you something. I gotta get you a sticker pack or something. Send me a message because that segue was perfect. So here's the deal. I am somebody who loves lore. I got super into Warhammer 40K. Okay, I'm a Tau guy. Sorry, for the greater good. I was a big Star Wars lore guy. That's why actually the stuff I'm talking about with like the different lightsaber forms, that stuff is actually a little fucking honest, okay? But I got super into Lord of the Rings. I was a big Harry Potter guy when I was like a little boy. But what the reason that I know all of this stuff is I find it so interesting. I think world building is so interesting. I think it's so cool. I actually was working on a fantasy novel series for like years. It is called The Will of the Guardians. Okay. Now this whole thing is in fucking sane. I've taken a ton of different mythologies and a bunch of different, like, I've taken a lot of Norse pagan stuff and turned it into its own mythos. I think that stuff is so interesting. I absolutely love it. I think world building is so cool. I think Frank Herbert and what he did with Dune is just epic. If you guys didn't know about Frank Herbert and the Dune story, he bought 50 pounds of magic mushrooms and locked himself away, and his wife ended up having to finance everything that the family was doing for years while he just wrote Dune. And he was like, this is it. This is our life now. This is what we're doing. Financed the family, took care of the family for years while this dude is shroomed out, going out of his skull on mushrooms. Fucking insane. Absolutely fucking epic, dude. And then what ended up happening, Dune was a massive success. He wrote the sequels, etc. But then what happened was the 1980s came calling, and he started doing cocaine, and that's when the series and the lore behind it kind of took a downturn. In fact, the Spice Melange, I believe it's Melange, or Space Melange. Spice Melange, Melange. Spice Melange is based off of psilocybin. What do you think about the Sabrina Carpenter and the Quip? I don't know what that means. Frank's wife was fantastic for sticking with his crazy ass. Yeah. Sorry, Joaquin Phoenix and Sabrina Carpenter connection. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Maybe that Joaquin Phoenix was in a cult? Is that what it is? I don't know. You guys call him... Wait. The Quip. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I really don't. I think that Sabrina Carpenter is... It's exactly what I said. It's exactly what I said. The fact that somebody that is close with them in whatever relationship, whatever way, is like, yeah, she would laugh at it. She would laugh it off. It's like, yeah, of course she would. She said debunked babes to, when someone asked her if she was a Scientologist. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to look into the connection. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? I don't know. But like I said, guys, if you want to call in, number is been posted to the Patreon, and you can even go to a free tier if you want to call in. Other than that, I'm probably just going to start rambling. Also, to people who've been listening to me for a long time, I'm bringing back the Couch Philosopher. So the Couch Philosopher is going to come back. It's just going to be rant based. I'm just going to do, because Izzy's world is too beautiful. It's too nice. You know, I actually write the episodes. I do a lot of research for them. Nice. We got a call. Baby.
No.
Yo, this is Izzy. What's going on? You got any fire for me today? What do you got?
I just joined onto your Patreon free tier, and I thought it was interesting about your takes and angles, especially about the Sabrina Carpenter thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you liked the Sabrina Carpenter video?
Yeah, yeah, because like it seemed like you raised a lot of eyebrows. At least that's what I sensed on my end. Not only on the general public side, but I can tell like some of the industry people were kind of like, you know, like it's kind of like a vibe when someone gets too close to the fire or something like that.
So wait, so you know? Oh, are you talking about the person I was just speaking to on the phone? Like, because you said industry people were raising an eyebrow. Do you know any industry people, or you saw comments, or?
It's just that I put the comment about Sabrina Carpenter Joaquin Phoenix thing is because.
I don't know who you are. So, okay. So that was you that commented the Sabrina Carpenter Joaquin Phoenix thing. Okay, got you. Okay. Yeah.
Because Joaquin Phoenix was a part of a part of a cult during his whole entire upbringing.
Right.
I forgot, it was a part of some kind of think tank group, but him and Sabrina Carpenter definitely have the same connections and same network. I really found it interesting that when you start talking about the Falima thing, especially quote unquote as they call it, like the sex magic rituals and all of that.
Right.
That interestingly enough, she hasn't had like the same kind of breakdown like Demi Lovato did, which I'm calling in the next few years. You know, scoreboards, and like she's going to probably hit the Demi Lovato breakdown sooner or later.
I think part of the thing. Did you watch the breakdown that I did on Sabrina Carpenter?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I think that is what the living doll aspect of it is. I think that is like the way I think they already broke her. I don't think that she's gonna have any sort of breakdown. I think she's literally been like bred for this. Like, I think that I don't think that they're gonna be able to shake her. I think she doesn't. I mean, even just like we just listened to my friend who, you know, has a friend or whatever who is sort of in with those people, and the friend said like, yeah, even Sabrina thinks it's weird that her aunt is a Scientologist. It's like, yeah, I think that she has a certain mental capacity that she might be unshakable, brother. But maybe she might.
I can, well, like usually, like just some stuff on my end because I don't want to say too much on the phone. But do you think that she's an MK asset, flat out?
I don't know. I don't really make statements like that because I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I think that she. What I do is I point to the evidence and to the connections. She was a part of. I mean, she's been a part of movies. Every single movie she starred in, maybe not everyone, but when she's a child actor, she's in the movie Horns, and she plays an SA victim. She's in Law and Order SV Unit, and she's a child actor who's a part of a massive SA, like exploitation network. She's in the music videos. In the music videos, she is an MK Ultra. That's what the whole thing is. Like, she's a living doll. She has the connections. She has, the Sugar Plum Fairy thing. There's the connections with the Manson family and the Tate murders. I mean, it's like, I would lean towards probably yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, like there's only so many things you could do. Like, a duck can only have so many characteristics before I go, yeah, I think that's probably a duck.
Yeah, because like it's interesting because like I have friends who are a part of those who were victims of those SAR networks.
Right.
And I'm sorry, and the more you point out to her, right? Is the more it's starting to
chip away.
To say like, yeah, okay, so that's a duck.
Yeah.
But then it comes into what, and on the other side of things, they say, what level of the family jewels is she? Is she a diamond? Is she a ruby? Or is she a sapphire?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Because like that's one thing I haven't paid attention to in her music videos, and maybe that'll be a very fun, interesting breakdown, is to see what kind of jewelry is she wearing, so it signifies to everyone else in the network exactly what level is she actually.
Oh, okay. So that's actually something I didn't know. So when people have certain types of jewelry, that means that they are certain levels of MK Ultra, or?
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting. So could you break those down? Like, what would a diamond? What would the highest be?
Oh God! Oh God! I'm a year out of the loop because I've seen too much on the dark website. But usually, usually it starts with metals, right? Silver, gold, and bronze, and then it elevates up to diamond, ruby, sapphire, and the more rarest of emeralds.
Ah, okay. So if you're emerald green, that's interesting because emerald green is the Wizard of Oz, Yellow Brick Road kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, is that like a direct tie-in? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm good, huh? That's crazy. I've never seen or heard anything about that. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, because like when you really look at satanic ritual abuse,
right,
as well as true MK Ultra handling and all that, then all that wild, crazy, zany stuff starts to come into play. You're like, what's really going on here?
Right. No, interesting. So you're predicting a Demi Lovato type breakdown of her. Well, what's interesting is in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that Bray Miller and Demi Lovato were people who they're people who like help manage. They manage Hollywood Records, which was the first label she was a part of. Which is what's crazy is those early music videos. Those were put out by a company that Disney owns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's pretty crazy Disney affiliated. Like, I don't know, man. Disney has their hands in a lot of pots, and I'm really I don't know how to feel about that one. But dude, I appreciate you calling in. You got anything else for us?
Can we just talk about the magic real quick?
Sure, yeah. Because you were commenting about the different types of magic, and we can let's hash it out here.
Yeah, like for me, I've been around a lot of crazy stuff,
right?
Especially regarding this stuff on a very bizarre, real level.
Mm-hmm.
So historically, like what you were talking about in regards to your past videos, like the Druids and all of those people, right?
The Druids?
Yeah, like there was a. Sorry. I'm jumping all over the place. Let me get it straight. When it comes to white magic, it usually pertains to the practices of like the monks of Shaolin.
Okay. I'm not familiar. You're enlightening me here. So the Shaolin monks are the ones doing white magic. You there? Think he went. I think he's muted. I think you might have muted your phone. Or is the call gone? Yeah, he's still there. All right, I'm gonna have to give you a call back, dude, because your call's gone. We got to keep the show moving. Yeah, we'll have to. We'll see if he calls back. Yeah, I don't know about the monks of Shaolin and white magic. I don't know anything about that. I think he might be trying to get into the minutia of the different types of magic and how, in my opinion, it's all pretty generally the same. Here he is. He's calling back right here. I think you were going too deep, dude. The call started getting wonky on us. You were muted.
Okay, yeah, but sorry, but like when it came to like the blood magic and stuff, right?
Okay.
That is the kind of stuff that you hear about what the politicians be doing on Epstein Island and all of that.
Yeah. The adrenochrome. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and like it's like to me, like it's when you talk about the red magic and stuff. And
what is red magic? I haven't really heard of red magic before.
Well, like I call it red magic, but they call it blood magic, and basically,
gotcha.
If we tie it in with fantasy, right? Which is kind of like a soft disclosure. That means that you are literally taking the blood of something else in order to heighten yourself. You literally are taking the life force or energy out of something else in order to be a heightened being.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And that's and that's where the adrenochrome comes in, which is, I heard through certain networks that that stuff is 10 times more powerful than cocaine will ever be, 10 times more powerful than sugar, and that's why they have to have certain networks in order to do it.
Right.
And like the main part that I'm just want to illustrate to you is that I understand with these casual liberal people that claim that they know about it, right? I'm just illustrating that on the criminality thing, a lot of this stuff is actual disciplines of how to do things underneath a religious guise, so that they don't get investigated underneath a 104c3 like the Scientology stuff.
Right.
I just want to illustrate more of a realistic understanding of it to you and your audience. That's all.
So I don't really. I'm going to be honest. I'm not really following what you mean as far as the realisticness, because like I cover and talk about a lot of this stuff. I don't know what you're saying that's different, like your perspective. I'm not really.
Like my perspective is that when people when they call it magic, right? And they say, "Oh yeah, that's right. I'm a blood mage. I do that," right?
Okay.
And then you say, "Okay, then," and then you throw in like the weird FBI talk, right? You look for the signs and symbols, like the butterfly or that Sega Dreamcast spiral, right?
Okay.
And if they are inside certain networks that deal with like the dark magic, or they really do the SAR stuff, like a lot of the Disney kids have been a part of.
Right.
A lot of that stuff is actually realistic practices inside organized crime.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I just right. Yeah. Yeah. I know that. I don't really. Because I'm thinking you're thinking that we don't cover that. That's been covered, dude. Like, I'm just kind of. I guess I'm just a little confused on what you think we're not covering with it. You know what I mean?
Well, like the part about the stuff that you cover on it, in regards to like when people talk about the different nature of the real criminality that goes on and what is the true belief system, that is something that I've seen even Alex Jones get wrong completely.
Okay.
That's all.
Got you. Awesome.
But the main part that I would like to introduce to you, because I know you're really going to like this. I know you're really going to like this because it came across my wire, is that what do you think about, have you heard about the 11 tribes of Saturn?
The 11 tribes of Saturn. I've never heard of the 11 tribes of Saturn. I know about Saturnian. I know about the Saturn death cults and Saturnian magic and all that stuff, but I don't know specifically about the 11 tribes of Saturn.
Okay, well, like in certain, I would say, death cults and human trafficking things,
Mm-hmm.
they all claim homage to the 11 tribes of Saturn.
Okay.
And the 11 tribes of Saturn was supposedly in theology, the clones of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, cuz so I'm looking into it a little bit here. It's apparently it's saying that the 11 tribes of Saturn are concepts that were associated with William Blake. And William Blake was like kind of like a Shakespeare kind of writer kind of a guy. But you're talking about clones. So we got some clone stuff going on.
Yeah, but like when it came, I'm just telling you from my own personal experience.
Okay, got you.
Because that when it came to looking at satanic ritual abuse, some of these covens claimed that they were a part of the 11 tribes of Saturn, and this is their practices, and this is what they do, this is what they believe. This is why they drink blood and all kinds of crazy shit. It's like, what's going on?
Okay. So so they come from the 11 tribes of Saturn, and that is where. That makes sense. So, because usually what I don't know how familiar with my work you are if you've watched any of the older stuff, but I talked a lot about the Moloch and the Luciferians and kind of how there's different different camps in that and all that other stuff. But I guess what you're kind of saying, because Moloch is essentially Saturnian worship in like a kind of in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess the 11 tribes of Saturn would be an even further segmented version of Molochian, sort of into Molochian, whatever, worshippers of Moloch, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like a more specific kind of cult of Baal kind of thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, that's super interesting. So what's the clone bit? Because now I'm interested in what the clone bit is. Where's the clone thing coming in?
Well, like the clone thing is because like their whole philosophy deals with the flood. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When the flood happened.
Right.
And so basically, like the G8 summit, right?
Yeah.
The G8 summit actually means the Golgari summit, or which is basically they're saying that they are the Nephilim,
right?
That run and control the world, and that they are a part of the 11 tribes of Saturn.
Okay, so when you say the clone thing, do you mean literal clone, or do you mean like kind of like a copycat, like they're copying?
Yeah, copying.
Oh, they're copying. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, dude. I was kind of wondering, like, I was like, where is he going with this? I thought you were gonna start getting into like clones and like Yakub and all this like clone stuff. I was like, oh shit, here we go. This is gonna be nuts. But yeah, that's real. I'm gonna have to look into the 11 tribes of Saturn because I think that's more of a that's like a more super specific thing. That's like really cool. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, well, like when you look at it into these organized crime networks, deeply, and you look and you find out what are their core philosophies, and I had people tell me what is exactly what's going on.
Right.
Then, then then we go right into one of my favorite videos that you made of all time, which was the Book of Mormon, which I read that book and I thought this shit was crazy. Like, I was on coke reading this. Like, none of it made sense. None of
yeah,
it
dude, that's
sense.
funny. Yeah, the Book of Mormon, like, and I mean this as respectfully as possible to any potential Mormons that might be listening. It is fucking wild, dude. Because I always try to contextualize everything I'm learning about in terms of my belief systems, right? So like, if I'm criticizing whatever it is, someone who's a Buddhist, I don't necessarily want to just be being an asshole. I compare it with what I believe, see where the similarities are, see if there's anything overlapping. And when it comes to the Book of Mormon, it is so crazy and so wild that there's like no overlap. Like there's nothing about it where I'm like, I could see this. Dude, someone told me recently they believe that Jesus is going to come back and he's going to be the president of the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's where they're at with it, dude. It's so, I don't know, man. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty wild. I mean, I will say this: Mormons are very nice people. I'm not shitting on the people. I just think their belief system is wild, dude.
But here's an interesting caveat, at least from my experience, is that once you compare the Book of Mormon with the 11 tribes of Saturn, you realize that they're just a sect of it. The same thing like Jehovah's Witnesses is a sect of this.
Yeah.
And like it just gets a lot more awkward because then you get to see what is I would say, because like I track these people by the way how they use their language, It's like a linguistic thing. It's like they will do double speak in a very different way, almost like in a poetic sense that can just daze you and confuse you after 5 minutes of talking to them. Right.
So, interesting. Yeah. So, I always say where there's confusion, there's deception. So that's whenever somebody is if there's a situation and the situation's really confusing and things don't make sense, I've had situations like that recently where it's like I have someone stalking me and the police are and nothing is making any sense. There's deception. There's intentional deception going on there, right? What I wanted to ask you next, and I'm kind of actually you're teaching me now. So when it comes to the 11 tribes of Saturn, right?
Yeah.
How does that relate then to what is typically and popularly known as the 13 families or the 13 bloodlines? So is the 13 families, is that the same thing? Because like somebody commented, I thought it was 13 tribes of Saturn. I'm looking into this as we're speaking, and it's not. It is 11 tribes of Saturn. That is the William Blake sort of thing, which pretty much tracks with like how occultists and Satanists work in general. Like kind of like the whole like Aleister Crowley thing, right? Like Aleister Crowley. Yeah, exactly. Aleister Crowley was just a guy who was like kind of rich and he like had these ideas and he just did drugs and he had sex with people and people liked him because he was like a party guy. It would literally be like if I did what I'm doing right now and I just started throwing these huge parties and everybody would just be getting drunk and we'd be fucking live streaming. He was just doing like that's what he was doing. So, but
see.
So hang on one second. But my point is what they would like William Blake kind of creating this idea of the 11 tribes of Saturn. And this is just what Google's telling me. So I know it goes a lot deeper. but that's like what they do is they get into these like really silly, like dumb, nerdy guys who are like, oh yeah, and then there's 11 tribes of Saturn, and then the Saturns, you know, what we do is we actually sacrifice babies, and we actually, do you see what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
and it's all this like weird mythology they make up, and then it becomes 500 years old. Like in 500 years, people are gonna think Thelema was this like super crazy, like people. It was way different than it was. It's gonna become even more mythologized than it already is, right? So,
Yeah.
you know what's crazy? Look at the live stream numbers just jumped from 30 to 60. It's so funny them lying about the numbers. Dude, I had to screenshot it. Bro, literally it glitched last week and showed the true numbers. It was like 120 people in. It's so funny how they fucking do it. They try to make it look like nobody's watching. It's just hilarious, dude. But so anyways, so the 11 tribes, it's back down to 31. It's back down to 31. We had 29 people leave cuz I mentioned it, by the way. That's so funny. That's hilarious. So, okay, so where does the 11 tribes of Saturn, from what you know, originate?
They are the Nephilim from the flood, the leftover.
Oh, okay, so
people
Nephilim,
that went underground.
leftover. Okay, so leftover from the flood. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's all Nephilim bloodlines. So, but that's weird because usually the typical number for that is the 13. The 13 bloodlines. So I'm interested.
Yeah, well,
I'm interested in that, and like how that ties in, and maybe it's just, I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? There's definitely. How about this? There's definitely at least 10 of them. There's at least 10 Nephilim bloodlines. Are you familiar with that guy? You know your stuff. Are you familiar with that guy who he's going on a lot of podcasts recently? I can't remember his name, but he's talking about how he was one of these individuals who is from a Nephilim bloodline. Have you heard of him? And that he's like a secret agent. He's like John Wick for like the Nephilim. Have you heard of this?
I have not come across, but I'm sure I can find his name and I can get a good idea of who he is within those networks. I know that.
So yeah, so you're kind of you're talking like you're, and I'm getting the vibe that you're only saying so much to me. So because you said earlier that you like knew people who were kind of not associated, but like had been through stuff like this.
Yeah.
So, okay, interesting. How about this? Give me as much information as you can, as you're allowed to, as you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, well, like, I'll go as far as to say this. I went to college in Washington, D.C., okay?
Okay. Okay, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Okay. So that's why you said earlier, that, okay, I got you. I'm clocking you, brother. I'm clocking you. So then, all of this, you went to college in D.C. Are you still in D.C.?
No, I had to get out of there.
Okay, You got out of there. Okay, good. So then, well, and so that means I must be pretty damn good then. If you went to college in D.C. and I'm hitting the. You said you even referenced an older video, so I must be doing pretty good if you're approving, because you surprised me, dude. You when we started the call, I wasn't really sure, but you definitely know your stuff, dude.
Yeah, well, I don't chime in unless if the stuff says, yep, that checks out.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. And so, in your opinion, in your expert opinion, the Sabrina Carpenter stuff checked out then? Because to me, I'm going to be honest, dude, like, of all the videos that I've done, of all the connections and all the stuff, I think that the Sabrina Carpenter one, to me, was the one where I was actually a little nervous to put it out. I'm going to be honest. I was like, okay, this one's a little on the nose.
because like if you look at what I said, and now I gotta look back at her music video to see exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. But like, I would have to say, allegedly, she's an asset. Allegedly.
Yeah, definitely. Allegedly. Definitely allegedly. Definitely
And,
allegedly,
like,
bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
I said definitely allegedly.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like, because like, you know, wasn't her last album her sixth album?
Sure was.
Right. Yeah, exactly. See, like, anytime when I see those patterns, I know this is encoded, and I know that she ain't who she say she is.
Yeah.
And like, and like to me, like, just a little inside baseball how some of these networks work, right?
Sure.
They do a lot of adopting of children
Yeah, absolutely.
and watching the records.
Absolutely, they do.
And like to me, I'm sorry, but she doesn't come off to me as a person born here in America. That's just my own assumption. That's my own.
Okay. What about her? What about her? I'm so curious. You've piqued my interest, dude. When you throw Washington D.C. out there, and this is like, you know, hopefully you're being honest about everything. I think you are. You seem very genuine. My discernment's not kicking you out. You know, like, where do you think she's from? I'm so curious. You've piqued my interest fully.
I think she's from the Slavic countries.
Okay, that's what I was getting to. That's what I was getting at too. Okay. Gotcha.
Because some of her mannerisms, right? Like if you watch it, are not really American.
I get you. Americans have a certain, like, we have a certain swag. We have a certain cadence. We have a certain gait. We're kind of loose with it. You know what I mean? We're kind of loosey-goosey.
Yeah, yeah.
Very loose. She is very rigid. She's very stiff. She's a doll. She's a living doll, dude. She's a doll.
Okay, yeah, and like from my personal research, from the people I've talked to, from the things I was informed to look at, right? They say always look at how their body language, their presentation, the formulation of their words.
Right. Okay.
And like to me, like I don't know if they have her in her current alter state.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if this was a Las Vegas betting table, I would probably go all in and say her language is probably like some Czechoslovakian or something like that. That's just my own personal intuition going off.
Right. Okay. So then, do you think that she's like a Russian Black Widow, fucking Scarlett Johansson type of thing?
Yeah, because like most people forget how, you know, like it's like how the colleges, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have direct, especially when you talk about sports in colleges, they have direct associations with military projects.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Yeah.
And Disney has deep connections with the MK Ultra program.
Right.
They do.
Right. Okay. Okay. I see where you're going with this.
And like one pattern that you have shown me that I don't think you realize that you have done is that this Nepo baby thing, right, says that these people are not who they really are.
Okay.
These people, you know, like these people have been hitting with the MK Ultra program, and these kids, you know, these people from somewhere else, and somehow, some way, they were able to watch the records and say, "This is my child."
Right. Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I mean, because you got to think, right? Like, okay, so let's say we're taking this information that you've dropped. I mean, what I was kind of thinking was like maybe they reverse engineered somebody who fits into this role, this sort of thelemic role from the Kubrick films. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe Disney and these Scientologists and these Thelemites grabbed this girl out of one of these, whatever it would be, right? Like some sort of fucking MK Ultra initiative, grabbed her out of it, and then inserted her into this role, and they used the Kubrick Rosemary's Baby thing as the script and pushed her forward that way, right? Because you got to think, right? Like, where I view myself in terms of like being somebody who's trying to bring people to truth. I'm trying to get people and metaphorically move them across a river, right? Like I'm trying to transport people into the land of truth, right? And that takes a lot of cognitive dissonance. Like at a certain point, people have to be watching and they have to go, wow, this is so many coincidences. There's no way, right? And in order to get those people there, I have to operate in the land of like, we have to assume, right, that the reality that they're telling us about her is right and it's real. We have to assume that her parents are her parents. We have to assume all of these things. We have to assume, because we can't just start off with like, by the way, she might be a Russian ass. You know what I mean? Because then the average person, the average person will be like, this is way too crazy. But I think knowing what we know now after the video and going down the assertions that you're kind of making, I think that's insanely plausible. I think that's perfectly plausible.
Yeah, because like I've seen at least for me, I've seen, and the things I truly know, like I wish I could tell you full scope
right
on my end,
right.
So you can see how I see the game.
Yeah.
But the way how they are pushing up these certain people,
right,
is starting to get, well,
it's endgame.
I'm trying. No. I'm trying to keep a straight face while I'm saying this, so I can remain fluid. It's becoming really tropey.
Right.
It's becoming really tropey. Like this person is playing the role of the shield. This person is playing the role as a chisel.
Yeah. There's no nuance anymore. There's no nuance.
Yeah.
There's no mystery left. It's, eventually we're going to have artists who are, this is Happy Man, and Happy Man plays happy songs for the happy people. And this is sad. This is Dr. Sadness, and Dr. Sadness, he makes the sad songs. And then we're gonna have Silly Dance Baby, and Silly Dance Baby is the new version of the Wiggles or whatever it is, right? But yeah, no, I definitely see that. So what's interesting is you're saying that these entertainment companies pull these individuals from these MK Ultra programs, and it's interesting you're saying all of this while being an individual from DC. Really, really some enlightening stuff. Maybe like a bit of a peek behind the curtain for the listeners here, even.
Yeah, because I just say to the listeners, if you don't think any of your favorite athletes are MK assets, please think again. That's all what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. And we just had that movie come out. We just had that new movie, Him or whatever, where it's like it's supposed to be. I haven't seen it. I don't know what it's about, but apparently it's about that. I mean, look at like dude, LeBron James. That guy is like, he's like 40. He moves like he's like a 20-year-old spry kid, dude. And I know that's steroids and genetics. I get it. I know. But at the same time, dude, some of the like, so here, how about this? So you just left our viewers with like something to think about. Give us. How do I say this right? Like I'm trying to think of something to ask from you. So, give us something that would blow our minds that but is not too much to where it's like, you know what I mean? Like don't give me like, the moon is actually made out of fucking orange juice or something.
Come on.
Yeah, give us. I mean, you can give us the craziest thing that or you think, because you very much impressed me, dude. That's fucking sick. I'm glad that you're listening, and I have the box head stamp of approval, dude. That's fire.
Something that I actually know that would blow your mind.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. I feel like I got to go through the files right now.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah. Well, how about you just keep it? Okay. How about like maybe a specific person? Like, is there somebody that's like Justin Bieber or somebody in the zeitgeist right now that you got anything good on, or that you?
Okay. Elon Musk.
Okay, here we go. Let's go. This is fire, baby. This is what I want to see. What you got on Musk, dude? What you got on Musk?
Elon Musk is a part of the Northwood Boys Society that is the equivalent to what Joaquin Phoenix and Sabrina Carpenter were involved in.
Okay.
And a lot of people are not going to think that he is an actual MK asset, but he actually is.
Okay. Got you.
And that if you look at his moves about efficiency and the thing that happened to his one son that turned trans and committed suicide.
Yeah.
I would recommend everyone to check into what actually happens inside these mental health facilities that they do to create or curate these assets.
Right. Got you.
Because a lot of the popular thoughts and theologies and zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm.
What you call it? Have you ever seen the MK Naomi project that they were running on people during the 1960s? Like some of those commercials.
The commercial. I don't know anything specifically about commercials, but if you, what they ran commercials and it made people fucking throw up and go crazy and kill their neighbor.
Well, like they ran a specific program on African Americans called MK Naomi, which was to instill patriotism into them.
Okay.
And to me, I'll find some way how to send you the clip of it. Of what that thing was going, because they were still experimenting with delta brainwaves and that technology onto people.
Right.
That just seeing that is enough to blow your mind.
Cool. Yeah, send me that. I would love to see that. Send me that. I'd love to. So I have a question for you. This is one of my theories. That is founded on nothing other than just intuition and fucking a little bit of Holy Spirit, right?
Holy Spirit activated.
I totally believe that they can read your thoughts using Wi-Fi. And I think that it's along the gamma wave thing. I don't know the science. I don't know science. I don't know that stuff. I fully believe that they can read your thoughts using Wi-Fi, and I think that they have been able to do that. Because I know that, like, if you're talking to someone and you're like, I've literally had things advertised to me based off of things I've thought and I've never said aloud and I've never looked up. And I know people, their argument will be like, well, did you know that, well, based on like your subconscious mind is always working, so you probably subconsciously put something into the algorithm. Like, that's not how reality fucking works, okay? I don't care what anybody says. I think that they can read your minds using Wi-Fi. And I swear in 2050, 2051, something, they're going to come out and say, yeah, in the fucking 2020s, in the 2010s, they were reading everybody's mind using Wi-Fi, and that's how they were doing specifically targeted ads and everything else, and they were downloading everybody's thoughts directly. I believe that.
Well, oh snap. Okay, so this is a fact that will blow the viewers' mind. Actually, I need to refine the patent for it, but there was actual national emergency frequency that they were using on all of Americans to send a frequency to you, and it actually made everyone freak out. At least in my area, I never seen people like swerve in traffic and do all that.
Really?
Yeah.
National emergency frequency patent.
Yeah, because like instead of them doing it on TV and stuff, because they know people don't watch TV anymore.
Yeah.
They somehow like hit the satellite and they hit people with those frequencies, and and they was testing that to see people's fight or flight stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, I believe that. I fully believe that. I think that, I mean, think about the 5G stuff and think about all the stuff that we had going on during COVID. I mean, why would everybody was inside, especially I was in California during that time. So like, dude, when it really went down, like we're talking like June of fucking 2020, there was not a single person on the roads. You know, like I'm sure they did a whole bunch of stuff that we don't know about, but we do know about, but we don't want to be honest with ourselves about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But hey, dude, this is one of the goated calls. This is awesome, and I hate the people who hate when people say goated, but you know what I mean. This was a great call. I appreciate it so much. I was a little skeptical at first, but you pulled me back around, dude, and that's pretty awesome. I appreciate you watching all my stuff. You're the man, dude. Keep it up. If you ever have anything good, send it my way. I will check it out.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Got you, and it was my pleasure to be on here and to share a little bit of my knowledge.
Hell yeah, man! I appreciate it so much.
All right then. Well, have a good night. Good night to all the viewers.
You too. Peace out, man. Dude, epic call. Epic fucking call. That was insane. That guy. At first, I was a little skeptical. I've never seen that person in the chat. I've never seen that individual in the chat before, ever. I didn't know. And all of a sudden, we have a guy who went to college in D.C. You know what that means. You know what he was saying, right? I don't know if you guys got what he was really saying. We were having a whole conversation without you guys knowing. I'm telling you right now. We had a whole conversation without you guys even knowing. It's confirmed, dude. It's confirmed.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh, we got a lot of info.
Holy Spirit, activate.
That was so awesome. That was so cool. So, and somebody right here, and I'm going to say this, I got to use the restroom. I got to come back, get a LaCroix, then we're going to come back. It's going to be about it's going to take 60 seconds, but here's the deal. Somebody said I didn't know Elon had a dead kid. He's referring to the metaphorical death of one of Elon's kids. Look into that if you will. All right. I'm going to use the restroom. I'll be right back. It'll be 30 seconds. Of course, now we have the most viewers, but I have to pee so bad. Let's go. We had an insider call. You know what's crazy? An insider calls someone I've never seen, somebody I've never seen in the chat, somebody I've never seen their username anywhere, and this guy is able to reference every single video I've ever done. You think that wasn't come on, guys. Come on, baby. That is how we operate here. That's how the couch... Today I'm the couch Phil, baby. Ooh, I just did that and my neck cracked. How awesome, dude. What a great call. This has been a great show. This has been a great episode. Been a great episode of the fucking Colin Show. Would love it if you could do some research on the Merovingian family. Yep. It's funny you're talking about the Merovingian bloodline after we're talking about the 13 families. We're talking about the 11 tribes of Saturn. And it's so funny. He's talking about the 11 tribes of Saturn. And I love that when I would say something like, oh, this is like by William Blake, blah, blah, blah. The guy was like, yeah. You know, like he gets it. He knows. But it's so funny. Like the William Blake. So William Blake was like a writer, you know, these fucking occultists, dude, they're such fucking nerds. They're such bozo nerds. It's so funny, dude. When it comes to the fucking, like, Aleister Crowley, right? Aleister Crowley was just a guy who loved doing drugs, loved partying, and then he would just like write. He would just write his ideas. Like, oh, I think that the divine feminine is a goddess named Babylon. Yeah, why don't we just take Babylon and turn that into... He just spelled it differently. He just spelled, instead of Babylon, he spelled it Babalon. Like, they're just nerds. They're fucking nerd dorks. And William Blake is the same thing. Oh, the 11 tribes of Saturn. Let's just make it 11 because 11 is the master builder. Oh, and the master dreamer. The master dreamer and the 11 Saturnian lines are based off of them. It's the perfect oracle. It's the perfect oracle for everyone to know. It's like what they do. It's so fucking silly. My point with the Merovingian bloodlines, I was working with someone who I found out later was a Fed, who was a member of the Merovingian bloodlines, or so claimed to be. And he had a Bible from France that was from like the 14 fucking hundreds. Literally, his father, who was in the CIA and was working overseas in Eastern Europe, was doing he was doing literally causing wars in Latvia. Okay, this guy who was literally sent to watch me while I was doing this project, sent to watch me and also sent to watch another person who ended up doing time in federal prison for January 6th stuff. Okay, someone who was producing a television show that I was writing and working on, right? But this guy claimed to be a part of the Merovingian bloodline and was a super Fed. Very, very weird, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, we could do some research on the Merovingian bloodline sometime. My focus really though is the entertainment industry. That's my focus. That's what I like. You know. All of this other stuff where it's like we're reading about a guy that has 2 sentences written about him on the entire internet, from the 1300s. That we're playing a lot of games that where oh yeah, and he this article, like you end up getting really making a lot of assumptions, and that's how you get something like Tartaria, right? And I'm not saying Tartaria is fake. I'm just saying that's how you end up getting these ideas where it's like, oh, we believe in a whole worldwide civilization because of a painting of a pineapple. Like, we're not doing those leaps in logic. We're not doing that. Have you ever looked into Conan Doyle being an occultist and hating the egregoric tulpas of his own making? Sherlock Holmes, because writing Holmes stories distracted him from his true passion, magic. That is fucking hilarious. I need to research that. That sounds like an occultist. the funniest thing, like, let's talk about the Bible, right? Like, the Bible, as mystical and all whatever, right? As mystical and religious and blah 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 as it is, it's also a historical document. You know, there are literal historical accuracies within the Bible that they use in all types of things, and scientists are moron anyways. But you know, historians use that. Okay, I digress. But these occultists, they just are like, you know, what if? That's what they do. What if? Are you ready for the sex, girl? And they're always trying to get pussy. They do magic to try to kiss girls. That's what these occultists do. They're like, oh, if I read poetry, like, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. If you're doing poetry in 2025, I'll whoop your ass. I was the last great poet. I was. I wrote the last poetry collection. After that, no more, dude. I wrote a poetry collection. I published it. After I did that, I said, oh, this is just fake. We live in a post. Art is post everything. It's post. Now, poetry used to be like the beautification of language. Oh, the sky is blue as a rose or whatever, right? And now, if you literally write road, symbol, time, in an essence of field, it's just words. It's words for words. These people are trying to kiss girls with it. That's what they want to do. These occultists, they're like, I just want to caress. They want to caress. They want to do this. Oh, caress. I want to caress. The guy's mad that he's writing Sherlock fucking Holmes because because it doesn't give him enough time to play make believe. I just wish I could do magic more. I don't have time. I just want to. You know what I'm saying? I just want to kiss her. You know what I mean? You know how you get a girlfriend? You ask a girl to be your girlfriend. You don't write her a letter, and you know. This is what Frank Herbert did. He bought 50 pounds of mushrooms, and he locked himself away in a fucking room, and he wrote Dune. That's what we need to be doing. That's what men need to do. And he told his wife, you're paying for the family, bitch. That's what he said to her. You're paying for the fucking family. I'm writing the greatest... I'm inventing science fiction, bitch. That's what he did. I'm inventing sci-fi, baby. Now make me some fucking pancakes. I'm getting high on shrooms. They're gonna set in 30 minutes. I need to eat. I need these shrooms with my motherfucking pancakes, bitch. Get my motherfucking shit going, motherfucker, so I can start going. I need some shrooms. I need my pancakes so I can mix in my shrooms with it. This that spice smell like yay. Get my shit, bitch. I'm going Frank Herbert on him, baby. That's Frank Herbert, dude. I have his book right here. Somewhere in this fucking thing right here. And look at. See that chapter marker? Almost done with it. Started reading it in 2017. I'll never finish. I don't care. Because I know what happens in it. I don't, actually. I actually have no idea. He said, give me my shit, bitch. That's what we doing in this family now. Another call. That's how it is. Right when my rant ends, a call comes in. God is absolutely good.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Yo, welcome to the show. This is the live call-in show. You're live to millions of people. What do you got for me?
Fish Jedi, how are you?
Oh, what's going on? How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
You're okay.
I'm calling to expand upon the doll programming that you were talking about earlier because I was literally a victim of it myself.
Okay.
And when I saw the image of her new album cover,
Mm-hmm.
one of the first things so at one point there existed an image of me just like that.
Really?
And, yeah, I can send you a few images from that. So, just to fill everybody in, I was very much programmed to be exactly what she is, but not publicly, right?
Okay,
So
gotcha.
from when I was little, oh, also the pedophile, he told me that his favorite, I'm talking to you like you know, wait.
Yeah, you're all over. So the
I am.
You're okay. It's okay. So the we're talking about. Let's start with the Sabrina Carpenter album cover and the photo you have
Right.
where it's the same. And
Right.
then I'll steer you back in because I know this is probably super overwhelming for you because I know about what you like. You've told me things, so I'll keep you kind of on course in case you start getting overwhelmed.
Thank you.
Yep.
Album cover. So I feel like I can validate what you're saying because stuff like that, I have so many photos of myself like that where I was convinced that somehow that made me look sexy or that was powerful.
Right.
When it's definitely not. And literally that photo and others, like there's one of me on my knees with like a blindfold on. There's another one of me on this table, and it's at the Gramercy Park Hotel in New York. Like basically I was convinced that I was a thing to be used when I was a child and treated like a doll. And that continued all the way through, like the photos that I'm talking about were about when I was 30. But the reason why I called is because I think it's important for people to understand like how deep the brainwashing goes, when it starts, how they do it, and the fact that I didn't wake up until, like, I was starting to wake up when I was 30, but I was still in the weeds. And I didn't realize what actually happens to me until like the middle of 2020. So I was like 38 when that happened. And what compelled me to call was the fact that she said that you didn't think that she, like, oh, she's in it, she's not coming out. Well, 20 years ago, I would have responded like, oh my God, no, nothing happened to me. Everything is fine. That's totally normal. My mother's Catholic. What are you talking about? She didn't do anything wrong to me. You know, like,
Yeah,
I was
get
so
you.
programmed into shutting up that, I don't know, I think it's important to acknowledge that these are professional brainwashers. And they do not want you talking at any cost, ever, at any point in time.
Right.
Not when you're 20, not when you're 60. And even though, like, I don't know, I still got out of it, despite the fact that it took 4 decades, you know. But I don't think any of them would ever, like, she may not even realize what's happening. Is my point. Like, she may be conscious of it and she may be an active participant in it, but
Yeah.
at the same time, if she was programmed all the way from when she was a child, like I was, like, this is what you are, this is how the world works, and there's nothing outside of it.
Right. I get
don't
you.
know.
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah. Like, yeah. I was just because like I kind of think the same thing where it's like I don't think that they like it would be the best thing would be if she had no idea. That's how you would want it. You wouldn't want someone who knew everything.
I don't think she does.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of them do. I really don't. And
Yeah.
I didn't know, and now I know. And I look at, like, I try to, like, as much as I'm like, oh my God, completely demonic, I'm like, well, I didn't know what I was doing either.
Right.
I was so brainwashed. I was not myself, and it was just like another lifetime entirely before I snapped out of it.
Yeah, and
So,
that's
like,
yeah, that's kind of like that's kind of why I took. There's a myriad of a myriad of reasons of why I took breaks from the long theories, and that was another one where it was like I don't even know how much of these artists are aware of. You know, like obviously you're aware of who your parents are if they are who they say they are. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
I didn't know though until I was like 30 something.
Right.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
How do you know? Like, if you grow up in dysfunction and you grow up with family who's criminals, or you grow up with family who's like traffickers, or everyone in your family is a pedophile, that's normal.
Right.
That's
yeah.
what I had. I
yeah.
had that's all I had.
No, yeah, that's like
Criminal
another.
pedophiles.
Yeah, that's another huge component of this is everyone's normal is different, right? Like there are people who grow up in cults and they don't know that they're in a cult until they're out of the cult, and that's like that's some people's reality, and that's kind of how, that's what's tricky with this whole thing because. Like if Sabrina Carpenter, let's just say, just making an example, if she saw the video and she was like, yeah, that video is stupid, that's crazy, people would be like, yeah, see, idiot. Like, if she said, and if she came out and said, oh, that video is real, it would be the same thing of like, oh, it's a joke. Do you see what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. There's a lot of things going on with it. There's a lot of moving parts, for sure.
I just know that I've worked with enough people, and I went through it myself, where like when I see images like that, it's like I see right through it, and
right.
She can't convince me that she's not. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, especially all being in entertainment since a young child, going through. I mean, it's a million different. It's so many different things. It's the Lolita
and that's when they go after
shoot.
you. It's like super duper young, like me too.
Right.
I don't know if you know this, but like that's how they. So did you ever have ERB testing where you were like it was called ERB tests, and like I think it stood for Educational Research Bureau, but either way, like it was kind of like an IQ test for kids, and like that's how they'd know who was really gifted at math or whatever.
Yeah, we called it GATE.
And,
it was called GATE when I was
Okay, well, we had the ERBs, and I just know that like with it, one of the things that I've intuited over the years is like one of the reasons why that was so important and why my mother was like flipping out about it is like that's how they select the children. To kind of like single out like they want the ones that are really, really smart, really, really creative, like the shining ones. And so like that's how, I don't know, I just like when I see it, it's just like all of the squandered talent that they took, that they knew that they were stealing and that they purposely stole. Like that's what I see. Because
Yeah. No, yeah. Like,
okay, sorry, that's all.
No, you're good. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we'll wrap it up on this GATE thing. But yeah, it was interesting because I was in GATE, and they kicked me out of GATE because I didn't listen well enough, and not like not like to instructions, just like I did whatever I wanted. Like I was like I figured out school as a kid, like I understood the game of school. I got it, so they didn't like that. But thanks for calling in, Fish. We'll definitely be talking. We have another caller. I'm gonna grab their call.
Ciao.
They've called 3 times.
Bye.
All right, later. Peace. Thanks for your call.
Bye.
Yo, what's going on? You've made it through. You just called 3 times. You got through.
Yes, I've been dying to talk to you, man.
Awesome, cool. So you have I don't know, you're the only person that's called that has you have like a contact name for some reason in my Google Voice. It's so funny. That's interesting.
That's weird. That's weird and creepy at the same time, man.
Yeah, I don't want to say what it is. It's like a business name. I don't know if you're calling from like a business phone or something, but yeah.
No, I'm not.
Interesting.
That's
okay.
strange.
Cool. So who am I talking to, man? What's your name, dude?
Yes, my name is Josiah, and
Josiah, what's up,
I just
brother?
wanted to go over a couple of conspiracies.
Let's
that
do it.
I've been
Let's
really
do it.
diving deep into. Yeah, so I just want to start off by asking you, how do you feel about Hollywood running the pedophilia world?
Oh man, that's a really broad one. How do I mean, I think it's bad. No, I think Hollywood is I think it's a projection of kind of what we saw in the Sabrina Carpenter video, where it's like Hollywood is this abstracted sort of idea and sort of a projection of a lot of different cults that are propagating their ideologies onto the masses in a way that is subverting what we think we're consuming. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think that pedophilia is a lot of, well, it's obviously bad, but I think that what it is it is a tool that has a lot of different use cases for them. I think it is a ritualistic tool. I think it is also a financial tool. I think it's a tool, human trafficking. I think it's also a tool for blackmail. I think it's their currency in a weird way. It's, you know what I mean? It's pedophilia and it is drugs. Those are the two currencies they use, right? And I think that yeah, that's what I think. I think it's pretty fucking insane.
It's a deep conversation, man.
Definitely, yeah.
It's definitely a long conversation where there's no short, simple answer. And the reason why I brought that up is because this might sound weird, and this is very personal.
Okay.
But growing up, I used to watch a lot of Disney Channel.
Okay.
And now when you're older, I'm in my late 20s right now. So I'm looking back on some of the stuff that I watched, and I'm like, wow, they were projecting that stuff onto me when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
For example, this is like a deep story, and I'll keep it PG. I used to spend a lot of time with my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And my uncle and I, we used to watch the Blues Clues and stuff like that, even though that was Nickelodeon.
I was going to say, dude, that's Nickelodeon. But okay, yeah.
But just as bad, like Nickelodeon's probably even 10 times worse with the guy Dan Snyder or whatever.
Right.
So I spent a lot of time taking care of my uncle from a young age, like even as a little kid, because he was handicapped.
Okay.
But we used to sit down, watch children's television shows and stuff like that. And then one time he tried to, I guess it's just weeks of watching like all these shows or whatever,
Gotcha.
kind of like possessed him.
Mm-hmm.
Where he one time asked me if he could suck my toes.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, it was just weird. I know it sounds weird and stupid.
No, dude, you're not. I'm not projecting that onto you at all. I'm saying, whoa, like that's kind of fucking, that's horrifying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know it sounds crazy, man, but I think just him watching that every day with me as a child, that it kind of like possessed him in a way. You know what does that make any sense?
I get you. So was he, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of handicapped was he? Was he physically handicapped or was he mentally?
Yeah, no, he was both. So he
Right.
was on the spectrum, so he had autism.
Yeah, definitely.
Little bit of
Okay.
autism.
Okay. Got you.
And he was also not able to walk as well.
Right. So
He's
yeah, that knowing that, right? Knowing that and being an individual who has like, I've worked as a teacher for classrooms that have literally only autistic students. They mimic whatever they see. And then there are also, there's different types, right? Like, for example, there's there's a symptom of autism that is called echolalia, right? Echolalia is you literally repeat whatever the last thing you hear. So there will be people and you'll say like, it's kind of like in that movie, the Tom Cruise movie, where the guy, he keeps repeating Tom Cruise, fucking Rain Man. That's what it's echolalia. So, I've had students where you say like, "Hey, be quiet," and they go, "Hey, be quiet. Hey, be quiet. Hey, be quiet. Hey, be quiet," and they'll do it all fucking day. They'll do it for like 8 hours during a shift. You want to fucking kill yourself, right? So imagine that, but it is it's like behavior. So if they're watching Dan Snyder and the feet stuff, they start picking up on it and their brain processes it differently. So it's almost here's the thing, like a lot of special needs individuals, they have this thing, and I've noticed this working years in special needs classes. They seek attention and they don't know how to get it outside of mimicking things that they see. So if you're giving the television attention, right? Like you're watching Nickelodeon and the feet stuff. If you're watching that, they subconsciously know that you're giving that attention. So does that make sense? So they'll...
Yeah.
Right.
Totally
So
makes sense.
I totally see what you're saying, and I think that you're right, and I think that it does explain it, especially knowing that it's autism. Definite, 100%.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Well, thankfully, nothing came about that because there was one. you're spot on because I think it's just every day constantly spending time with him and us watching Nickelodeon and Disney that he's mimicking like what he sees on the television, like with the Dan Snyder feed stuff.
Right.
He tried to make me dance for him and stuff like that. But one day I just had enough, and obviously he can't chase me out of the room. So I was able to like get out of there and tell my parents one day. It came really close to him doing something. So thankfully, I haven't spoken to him in years. But it's crazy. Everything that you explained to me like makes total sense.
Right.
And it's funny too because he kind of looks like Dan Snyder.
Oh, really? Holy shit. That makes it.
Yeah,
that adds
yeah.
a whole nother fucking element to it then.
Yeah, he was just a fat guy.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. That's super wild. But so was there anything else? Because I think you said that there was two things, right? Oh, wait. Are you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Sorry. I said
Yeah.
I think you said there was two things, right? Do you have something else?
Yeah, how do you feel about possibly the Downies running America?
The who?
The Downies?
The Downies.
Yes.
Oh, you mean like Down syndrome?
No, like Robert Downey Jr. and like his father.
Oh, dude, I have not heard anything like this. I thought you were
You didn't hear about that?
I thought you were referring to a Sam Tripoli joke where he talks about how Down syndrome people are gonna like take over the United States. Okay, wait. No, so okay, so
it's a fucking if those Downies ran the United States, we're in trouble.
yeah, well, maybe not. Maybe
We're all pissed in the bathroom with our pants off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. We'll be watching Nickelodeon trying to suck our fucking nephew's toes. Okay, so go ahead. Tell me about this. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, so apparently,
Oh, the call ended. We're gonna have to call this person back. He must have been ready to touch upon a serious topic. I think you were.
Yeah, how's it going? All right,
I think you were about.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I think you were about to drop some serious knowledge, so they had to cut you off. Hello?
No, you're good. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
no, I've been having a little bit of disconnection problems.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so tell me about the Downies. I'm super interested in this. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, so after they made Iron Man 2, I believe, Robert Downey Jr., this is from something I heard, Robert Downey Jr. and I don't know if it was his father or whatnot, but they had been, they had been apparently sexually assaulting other children on the low. This is something I've heard. This is totally out of the blue.
Right. No. So
something
yeah.
I heard.
No, you're. So I don't know about children, but Robert Downey Jr. had a really bad drug problem, and he actually was like, I don't know if he was arrested. I think he was arrested for, like, someone caught him in bed with like he went into his like neighbor's house and like got in bed with like their son or something crazy like that. Like he was arrested for something like that, and they played it off on his drug addiction or whatever. And I don't know, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
he had a really crazy past, really crazy history. So
Yeah, no. I'm right there with you. I've heard it before. Supposedly he was in the Epstein files and multiple other things. I mean, the list goes on. It's a crazy fucking thing, man. It blows my mind.
yeah. So what do you mean about them running America though? Like what? Just that off of that, based off of what you kind of.
Well, yeah, I was just mainly speaking about America in general, like Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood in general, like
Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I definitely think there's yeah, I definitely think, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know much about the Downies, but I do know that if you get a certain level of power within Hollywood, it goes down generationally. I mean, you can see like actors generationally, they're the guys. You know what I mean? Like look at like Joaquin Phoenix and his brother River Phoenix or whatever. You know, like you know, like yeah, it's really interesting, super interesting stuff. It's
super.
It's all crazy. The more you kind of, I don't know, go down the rabbit holes. The Sabrina Carpenter one, I know I keep talking about it, but the Sabrina Carpenter one, that one was like, that's where I think I learned a lot with that research. I was like, holy shit, these people are fucking crazier than I thought.
Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna lie. The Sabrina Carpenter one took me by such a surprise. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a pretty big fan of her.
Oh, you are. You're what did she call her fans? The carp munchers, the carpet munchers? What?
Yeah, I think like the S munchers or something like that. Something.
That's funny.
Something crazy. I don't know, but when I heard about it, I was just like you. It blew me off by surprise, and I was beside myself.
Yeah. So is that going to change the way you interact with her music? Like, what do you think? Like,
nah, I will always love Sabrina Carpenter. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Because only just from one. I mean, maybe this is the problem with society as well. Is lust. I have a lot of lust for Sabrina Carpenter, so I don't really care. She can possess all she wants. She gets a pass. Like, you know what I mean?
She's your like, pass. Yeah. You know what my pass is, and not like in the way you're talking, not like a sexual. My pass, my celebrity pass, is Kanye, and I truly believe that Ye. I don't know what could come out about him where I would be like, I can't. He just is my. Yeah. I don't know why, man. Like, ever since I fucking heard College Dropout when I was like, whatever, 10 or whatever, I was like, this shit rocks, dude. And just, he always hits, bro. He always hits. And stuff comes out about him sometimes, and like, I'm just like, man, what are you doing? But I'm also like, that's fucking Ye, dude. That's Ye.
Yeah, I love Ye as well. He says a lot about like the Jewish people. I'm Jewish myself, but sometimes I'm like, yeah, fuck the Jews, because I love Kanye so much. Like, fuck the Jews, dude.
Okay, hell yeah, dude. That fucking rocks. You're an East Coast guy.
It makes me look at my parents different. Like, fuck you in this yarmulke.
That's so funny. That's so fun. Well, it makes sense now that why you love Sabrina Carpenter. Then she works for you, bro. She's your employee. You gotta be. I'm joking. But awesome.
Actually, we could get into that. How do you feel about Israel and Palestine? What's going on over there?
That one will get the stream taken down. That one will get the stream taken down. But I think I've made comments in the past that pretty much it's pretty clear how I feel. Okay. But I'm not big on the political side. I'm really not. I think that there's absolutely a thing going on that starts with a G and ends with genocide. I think that's going on.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard. It's things are always a lot more complex than people want to paint them out to be. And I, as critical as I am of Brazil, it's a lot more complex. Things are I don't know. Things are wild, man.
So I'm guessing you don't have a little hat on top of your head.
Yeah, that's why I wear a hat all the time. No, but that's, it's kind of like your relationship with Sabrina Carpenter. You just learned all of this stuff about Sabrina Carpenter, and you still like her. Like, things are very complex. Yeah. Things are super. Yeah, everybody wants to paint it out as like, you learn this stuff about Sabrina Carpenter. You can never listen to her again. I hate her guts. I'm gonna burn my Sabrina Carpenter records. It's like, no, like, this is reality. If I met Sabrina Carpenter, I'd be super nice to her. I wouldn't be mean to her. Like, I don't know. I don't even think, personally, especially after the calls we've been getting today, I don't think she knows. I don't think she knows what's going on.
No, definitely not.
You know what I mean? Would not know. But yeah, brother, I appreciate you calling. This was awesome. This was a fun call. You definitely
you just motivated me, bro. I'm about to tug the chicken to Sabrina Carpenter now.
Go do it, bro. Go do it. Go do it. Go hit that man child, bro. Hit that man child, brother.
With my yarmulke. I'm gonna use the yarmulke.
Yeah. This was awesome, dude. I appreciate your call, brother. Have a good one.
You too, man.
Peace. What a call. That was a great call. That was funny. That was awesome. What a funny fucking kid, dude. People are so funny. But yeah, like, life is complex. Everything is complex. You know, I don't know. I like people who are like, I hate her. I think that's really juvenile. I really do. I don't think that you should, you know, do what he's doing and go tug the chicken while wearing your yarmulke. I don't think that, but you know. Somebody said, can I call in just to share some thoughts and ask a question? Yeah, sure. As long as you're respectful. You were kind of wild earlier. Not really wild. I didn't want you to say, I didn't want you to say anything crazy. We had a caller calling in about something super personal and serious. So, oh, I think that they're calling back. Oh, this is another person. Yo, what's going on? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's going on? What was that?
What's going on today, man?
Just, you know, just live streaming. You're live to millions of people right now.
What's up, Bill? What's up, millions?
Yeah, millions, dude. Millions.
Am I gonna be famous now?
You might. It depends on what you say. You might be, and I have your phone number, so you better be careful with it. All right.
Yo, I hope I get paid. I'll be good. I'll keep it PG.
All right, cool. What do you got? What do you got for us? You got anything fire?
Yeah. How do you feel about the black community in America? No, I'm kidding. You're
totally not kidding. But
no, I'm
not. Let me think. I think they make good music, bro. I love rap music. You know, I think there's
okay.
Yeah, I think that's a very complex question.
Do you feel like the society kind of changes everyone's perspective on young black males?
What do you mean?
Like, do you think, like, the U.S. government, everybody kind of painted a picture of us?
Do I think the U.S. government painted a picture of you guys?
Yeah, as like a bad race.
Are you the same guy who just called in? You're the same guy who just called in.
Nah. I mean, you could check the numbers. Obviously, it's different.
You have the same area code, and your voice sounds the exact same.
It's not.
No, okay.
No. That guy was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. That had me cracking up for a little bit.
Right.
He was a fucking handful.
Yeah, absolutely a handful. All right, you got anything else?
What's your how do I put this? What's your thoughts on the UFO crisis that's going on right now? Or I don't even want to say crisis, but like thoughts about the UFOs that have been winding up around the country that have been, you know, shown and vividly seen by you know, people.
You mean what happened like a while back?
Yeah.
Actually, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about the black community?
The black? Well, I mean, I love the black community. I grew up in a lower middle class area, so you know, I thrive with it. I went to a high school that had a lot of black people into it, so yeah, I mean, I love it.
Yeah, I wonder why you asked me that question.
I mean, honestly, it was just a good question because I feel like that's a hot topic that, you know, especially right now in America. That
okay. I wasn't sure if you're just trying to like goad me into something.
No, honestly, I feel.
Oh, okay. I can't tell if you're. I can't tell if this is like a troll call or not. I genuinely can't tell because you're like your tone is very, very what it is. I don't know.
No, sir. Honestly, I just thought it was a pretty like upcoming topic that is like very like big in America right now. You know, especially today.
Yeah.
So I just.
And you said we. You're black. You sound you're black.
I'm actually mixed.
Snack lab vending, right? Yeah.
Snack lab vending?
Yeah. Snack lab vending. Me neither.
What? I don't even. Is that a question or is that, what is that?
You're funny, bro. You're funny. You're a funny guy.
I'm snack lab vending. I don't. Hey. Shout out snack lab
vending. But no. Yeah, I guess I'll answer your question. As far as the UFOs, I don't know. I think a lot of different things on it. I don't really, I don't really know. I'm not like a big UFO guy. I think aliens are. I'm not a big guy on that. So.
Oh, you're not big on. Oh, I was gonna say because that's like, I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty big thing that I'm interested in, especially like with all the different versions of the grays, the whites. There's all different versions of them and stuff. So I wanted to see if you had any thoughts on it or whatnot. That's why it's asked the
Nah,
question.
not really. But hey, thanks for your call. That was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, man. No, I just wanted to say, last question. What do you think about the autistic people?
Sweet. Hell yeah. That rocks. Yeah, that's super funny. That was the same guy. That was like obviously the same guy. It was like obviously the same dude. He's a fucking idiot though. He called from his business phone number. His I literally like what a fucking moron. But anyways, that's what that is. Let me see here. Yeah, that's definitely the same dude. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. But yeah, I don't really believe in aliens. I think aliens are pretty much that aliens are just demons, I don't think that they're real. Not that I think that they're fake. I just feel like I don't think aliens are what they say that they are. Let me see. Yo, what's going on? Thank you for calling in. What do you got for us? Hello?
Yeah, Izzy, what's up?
What's going on?
Hey, this is first off, I'll apologize for my comments in the chat. That is not. I didn't know that's what was going on. I was just trolling a little bit.
Yeah, we had someone. Yeah, we had someone talking about something pretty heavy.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm sorry. I understand. I was putting time out for that.
Yeah, it was only a 60-second timeout, so you're good.
Oh yeah, that's fine. And first, shout out to Snack Labs. Go get your vending snacks and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just cut to it. I don't know. I've been watching you for a couple months now, and you seem pretty engrossed into like I guess quote unquote conspiracies and whatnot. And I kind of think conspiracies, like, I believe some myself, and a lot of people say that it's a conspiracy and it's really far-fetched until like something comes to light and it actually proves that theory was actually true. And then it just gets kind of disregarded.
Yeah.
And I know you talk a lot about Hollywood and obviously how actors are controlled and how they're managed, the creative directing, and like how they're just thrust right into fame without actually like a natural or an organic rise, I guess. I know you talked about that with the music industry especially.
I mean, I don't kind of. I mean, I don't know. I kind of say that, but I don't think it's that simple, but
Yeah, no, I know it's not that simple, but I don't know. Well, maybe I guess I'll double check my facts. Like, obviously there is a lot of power and control involved in Hollywood. Would you agree? Or is that your belief?
What are you trying to say? I know what you're doing. What are you going for? What are you going for, dude? What are you trying to do?
Oh, no. I'm not going for anything. I'm not going at anything.
You sound like
I'm
the
just,
same guy who just called in. You sound like the same guy again.
No. Okay. Then I'll rephrase my questions and I'll switch topics because I don't want to seem like I'm baiting you into answering something. So I understand. So then I'll just fast forward past everything and I'll say, I know you do a lot of research in these conspiracies, and I watched your video about Sabrina Carpenter and with the Scientology, which is just insane. And I guess I agreed with your comments about, there's no such thing as a coincidence. So all of that is really crazy. But I kind of look at everything of this topic as you can arm yourself with knowledge because knowledge is power. But it's like at the end of the day, there is so much more to this world that is like under control and like scripted, and it's like just knowing about it, what can you even do about it personally? You know what I mean? Do you ever think that way?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay.
Yeah. You're
well,
really committed to this bit, bro. Like you're really committed to it.
I swear to God, I'm not the same guy that. You think I'm the same guy that just called in?
You literally, I've known you have been. Like you're, I know you have been. I know. Like, I don't know, dude.
No, this is my first time calling in. I did not call in at all.
Right.
I was actually coming in as a supporter. Like I was saying, I was watching your content on Instagram and stuff for like probably around a year. So I was just wanted to interact with you, and ask you some questions. But
yeah,
that's fine. I understand. I understand you have your you want to be secure and you want to watch what you say, obviously, which is fine. And
but like here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. If you're gonna do this and it's like, if you're gonna do, I get it. You're like trying to do like a bit. I get it. But it's like I can see what you're trying to goad me into and what you've been trying to goad me into, and it's just like, it's not even like funny. Like it like at least be funny. You know what I mean? Like the first call, I get it. It's like kind of funny. Then you call again. You like your thing's fucked where it says your business or whatever. Like I don't know. It's just like, it's just not even funny.
I'm actually okay.
Like it's just not funny. It's like not like unless you have literally the same. You have the same exact voice, asking the same exact questions. Like it's just, I don't know. You're glowing, bruh. You're glowing.
I wish I could prove to you that
I wish you could too.
Same guy.
I wish you could too.
Okay, well it's fine then. It didn't work out for us to have a conversation. I appreciate your time.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just not taking calls anymore. It's just that's fucking annoying. That's super fucking annoying. But whatever. That's pretty much bound to happen. Pretty much figured that was gonna happen. It's just, here's the thing, dude. If you're gonna call in and you're gonna do like a thing, like at least make it funny. At least make it funny. This is like what makes it to where, I don't want to do the call-in shit. And this is like the reason why people don't do call-in stuff. This is literally why. And it's not even like, if you're gonna call in and like do a bit, make it funny and like interact like he did the first time. You know what I mean? Like at least use a voice changer, So it's pretty fucking irritating and pretty disheartening, because it's like you literally like, okay, like this person, I just bought the Patreon, and it's like, yeah, it's like fucking stupid. You know what I mean? So whatever. That's just how this kind of shit goes. It's so funny because there's other people who are like, substantially more famous than me who are trying to do like this same kind of thing. And it's like, what's going to end up happening is they're going to have to end up doing a thing where they have to take voicemails. Because this is why Theo Von I don't know if he still does it, but this is why he had to take voicemails. Was because people just fucking ruin the live shit. They fucking ruin it. And this is why I don't live stream to Instagram either. Because, people would be fucking saying the N-word and shit, trying to get my shit down. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just like what is, like it would be funny if I said something racist. Like, I don't know. Like, oh, if I say something anti-Semitic, that's funny. And especially like if you're going to do that, and you're like this, like the last time I talked to him, he's like, you would say that there's people in power. He's like trying to goad me into like an anti-Semitic rant. After saying he's black and saying, it's just like, it's just fucking, it's not even funny. It's just like fucking lame. So, whatever. Don't give a reaction they want. I'm not giving a reaction I want. I'm expressing how I feel. I'm not freaking out. If I was freaking out, I would just I would just rage quit and end the stream. I'm not ending the stream. I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna be taking calls if that's how it's gonna be. If every time I answer it, it's gonna be he's called from 4 different numbers. That's like fucking lame, and it's they're all the same area code. It's like so fucking stupid. You know, but whatever. Let's see here. But W chat, bro. Yeah, seriously. Also, thank you guys for the supers. You guys fucking rule. Yeah, we're definitely gonna continue doing the call-ins. It's just like if people keep doing it, it'll. Yeah, bro. So Michael is commenting saying, I guess I called it the wrong time. Wasn't trying to bait you into anything. Okay, well, you just so happen to have the same area code as the other person. So, if you were a real caller, then you just so coincidentally happen to call at the worst possible time, and your voice sounds exactly like the other person's. So, you know, if that is you, Michael, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's not looking kind of how it is, especially after you're, you know, making fun of somebody who is sexually abused in the chat. So you kind of don't have a very good track record, but you know, it is what it is. Is what it is, brother. Let me see. Let's actually, you know what, Michael? I'm going to call you, Michael, because I think I answered the call not from you. I swear if I call this number back and it's actually, if I call this number back and it's actually the same guy, I'm going to laugh my fucking ass off. I'm going to laugh. Then it will be a good bit. Then it will actually, he'll have actually done a good bit if I call this back and it is him, the 626. Okay, I'm gonna try it if it is you. Let's see. I think you might have called at the worst possible time. All right, Michael, is this you?
Hello? Yeah, what's up?
What do you got for us?
Am I cleared on security clearance? I swear on everything, it was the worst timing.
You're such a fucking liar, dude.
How do you think? Dude,
okay, this is actually a good bit now. This is actually a good bit now.
No. What is the area code?
Well, the other area code is, it's different. It's a different area code.
Is my area code 262?
Yours is, yes.
And what was the other guy's?
Well, I'm not going to give you his area code.
Okay, well, it's just an area code, but that's fine. But I think it. Listen. Here's the issue with this. I can't convince you any otherwise.
You can't, but okay.
And you can't believe me because I'm just on a phone. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Now I like it. So now I think you're funny. Okay, so what do you got? What do you got, dude? What do you got?
Oh, okay. All right. I'll get to it. I'll just say. Well,
look,
the thing
hang on.
I know.
Listen. Just listen. Listen to me.
Oh. Yeah.
Are you still there?
For a second.
Are you still there? Okay.
Yep.
You're cutting out.
Shit Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah. Wait, what is your first name?
It's Michael.
You're such a fucking liar, dude. Okay, what do you got for me, bro? Iris. Okay, go. What do you got? You went to the Patreon for all this trouble. Wait, what's up? You sound like a cyborg. Your phone's messed up. I think it's your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's my fucking internet, dude. God damn it.
Yeah.
Hold up, let me try switching. Is that any better?
Yeah, it's better. It's better. So what do you got?
All
man?
right,
What do
all
you
right.
got?
Okay, did you hear me? Okay, so dude, this really flustered me. I guess you know what? I'm curious to hear if you can expand on the part from the Sabrina Carpenter video about harnessing energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about it?
Well, I'm actually curious. Like, so, I'm a college student, but I grew up.
Yeah.
My mom.
What are you
She
studying?
was like very spiritual, so I kind of grew up, like surrounded by that. I guess like my mom's a very spiritual person, so I believe that there's like a higher energy that's kind of emanating around, and some people claim that they can tap into it or whatever.
Yeah.
So like maybe you can fill in the blanks for me, like from your research and gather about like Harji and whatnot.
Like I don't like you like you're wondering what they're what she's doing.
Well, it makes sense what she's doing, but I guess like what is it? What do they do like once they harness the energy? Because
I mean, like what
for
do
me,
what do politicians do when they get like political when they get the energy they get from political power? Like what like that is it. Like I think you're I mean I know what you're doing, but you're.
What do you mean?
So
no.
like
What do you mean you know what I'm doing?
No, that's not how this works. So yeah, right. like the all right is right. Yeah, so the what they're doing is they have a belief system where they believe that they can manipulate energy, and they can manipulate sort of what that energy can grant them and give them. I mean, you're kind of asking like why would somebody I don't know, like why would your uncle like suck on your toes or something after being programmed autistically,
Yeah, I suppose so. And well, as I was saying in the first call that I made, I'm a very realist person, so I can see all the dots that you connect. And I guess I'll just keep talking about the Sabrina Carpenter video because it's fresh in my mind. Like the thing with the Nutcracker doll, like that's crazy. And like the stuff like talking to the 16-year-olds, like that's really disturbing. And obviously her creative directors or whoever, her management company or whatever, they have some agenda of some sort.
Right.
And I actually think that there is a lot. And you also were saying something about your video that stop saying goat, stop saying goat. And this kind of all goes together. I feel like there's a lot of stuff on, well, I guess the internet especially is like really bad in a lot of ways, but it's also good. But it's like, I feel like I feel like whoever's in charge of Sabrina Carpenter, her management, and a lot of the ideas and stuff that goes on the internet is trying to poison people's brains, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of just, yeah. Dude, you're so committed to this. You commented yesterday in the Patreon.
Yeah, I was.
You're so committed to this. You're like a full member. You're like, yeah, this rocks. So I'll just answer your question like seriously. So, yeah, I mean, you said in your comment yesterday that you that you think that everything is coincidence. That's like what you said. So, do you believe that? You believe that all of it's just super coincidental? Because if you do, that's what you believe.
Well, let me check because I think I said. Hold on, I'm gonna fact check. I said, what if everything is one big coincidence? I didn't say I believed that.
Right.
I said, what if? So I'm a very realist person.
That insinuates what your belief is.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. I can see what I typed it, but you read it on a screen, so you didn't know my intention.
What if it's all one big coincidence? And what they do with the what do they do with the energy once they harvest it? That part about the knife and the nutcracker is insane. So like, yeah, I mean, it's like if you go to church, you know, what do you do with the energy you get from church, right? Like, what do you do? Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. You know, that's what their belief is. I mean, would you say that people who like have you know, islands and they have altars where they like do pedophilic things to people on these islands, like, why do they do that? Why?
Well, and that's what I'm saying. And like, I believe this stuff. Okay, why does everyone?
Well, I'm asking
Beyonce
you.
at the award shows? Oh, okay. Because they're sick in the head. I mean.
Right. Yeah, they're sick in the head.
Is that wrong?
It's not wrong.
Okay. So, I guess
you're harnessing my energy right now. I think you're getting.
So?
Where are you from?
I don't really want to dox myself, dude.
Well. Right.
I'm from America.
Right.
Yeah. I'm from Earth, bro.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You got any questions for me?
Yeah. No,
okay.
not really. Not really.
Oh, okay.
I'm a realist too. You know?
Yeah,
I'm a realist. I don't have questions for you.
I genuinely called because I was interested in like having a legit conversation with you. Because I'm very real, but I feel like you are so far like deep into things, and it's hard for me to like some of it, like the stuff that you could actually write on paper, I can believe, then like the other stuff, like
what?
You know what I mean?
What can you not write on paper? What of like, okay, the Sabrina Carpenter video. The sourcing's all there. There's all sourcing for everything I'm saying. So what can you not write on paper? I didn't say that Sabrina Carpenter is, you know, an alien, or is Sabrina Carpenter is you know, I didn't say she was anything. I said that these people believe that she is, and if we look at the things that line up with what I explained in the video, then that is, you know, that if you watch all of those things and you still don't believe it, then that is what it is, right? But, you know, I didn't say that she's anything, and, you know, I didn't say that she's anything other than what I said, which is these people believe that she is this thing.
And it's very okay. So, is all that stuff with Scientology and, you know, the energy and the spiritual and where it's tied into religion? I'm so realist that if it's not like something you can touch or hold or whatever, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you're a materialist.
That's not even real.
You're a materialist.
That's not real. Well, I'm not a materialist.
But that's what materialism is. You just described material. I don't think you know what materialism is then. That's materialism.
Okay, so
if you can't hold it and it's not real.
I guess my definition of materialism is you like to buy things, but that might just be the common definition, you know?
Well, there's different kinds of materialism, but right.
Okay. Yeah, then you're educating me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can pose this question to you again if you think I'm not a troll. But
I'm answering it legit, like as if you're a real person. I really am.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I guess you are a real person. Right, but you're saying, you only believe what you can hold and what's real. So if you're not willing to stray from that, then I can't really do anything for you. Because because
fair.
I mean, I presented every single thing that I could to you in the video, and if you believe in that many coincidences, I'm not saying you do, I'm using a figure of speech here. If you believe all of those things just so happened, then you're probably a pretty happy-go-lucky kind of guy,
Yeah. But okay, so I'll ask you one more question, or I'll pose one more thought, and then I'll hang up because I don't need to take up too much of your time.
Okay. Okay, dude.
So, okay, but no, stick
right,
with me here, dude.
right.
Stick with me here.
I'm with you. I've been with you for an hour.
It's cool. It's cool.
Right.
So knowing, this is very broad, knowing everything you know and all the research you've done and all of the dots you've connected, does it make any difference to know all of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that's what I'm getting at. Where do you find benefits from it?
Where do I find benefits from it? I have 40 people watching this conversation who
They're
blaming.
Yeah, they're getting me.
What do you mean? I didn't say anything about anyone getting you. I'm just saying, like, this is reality is a lot more strange than you'd think. You sound like a young guy. You sound like someone who is interested enough to call in for whatever reason it is, right? And someday, eventually, something's going to happen to you in life that is going to make you question things a little more than you might be now. And I'm saying this in a nice way. And you're not going to have all of the answers. And sometimes things cannot be as real as you need them to be, right? Like, let's say you're married, right? And let's say you just start feeling like the person you're with doesn't love you anymore. But she doesn't say anything and she doesn't show anything, but you just have a weird feeling. You just have this weird feeling and it's in your gut and you can't let it go. You can't say, well, if you're expressing to somebody else, why are you unhappy? And it's like, well, I can't, she's not doing anything and she's not saying that she doesn't love me, but I just don't feel like she does anymore. There are things that are a lot more complex that you can't put words upon, right? And I think, to answer your question, what does knowing all of this mean? It depends what you think. It depends what you think it means. You think it means nothing. I think that it means everything. And you said, just like you talked about the goat video earlier, you might think saying that's, goat, you're the goat. I get it. It's greatest of all time. And I don't even have a religious connotation to the goat video thing. I'm saying that things are so much deeper and so much more complex than you can even begin to think of them, that if you're unwilling to even have a conversation with yourself in a real way, that it might be a little weirder than what you think you have figured out, then I think that your life is going to go a very particular kind of way. And one day, right before it all ends, you're going to wonder. You're going to have some questions. And I don't know what those questions will be, but you'll have them. Here's the deal, bro. And I'm being very real with you. I was a drug addict, alcoholic for over a decade. I had signed record deals. I've done really cool shit with some of the most famous people literally on the planet. Literally. Songs you've heard on the radio, I've literally helped write. Literally. And I've done really cool shit, man. And burned it all down because of drugs and alcohol, whatever, right? Literally 3 years ago, I had an experience where I had a heart attack and I was dying from alcohol withdrawals because my body literally needed alcohol to survive, right? And I had a spiritual experience. I could not do anything to prove to you other than tell you what happened to me, right? On the outside, I'm laying on a couch having a heart attack and dying, literally, and my parents are watching me die, watching their son die. And inside of my head and my body and everything else, I literally met Jesus Christ, who I did not believe in. And I literally had God, or whatever, God, tell me things about my life and things that were going to happen that have come to pass. Things like he told me how and when my grandfather was going to die, which I've told my parents, right? And it happened. It literally, these things have happened. So I can't explain to you how real that is. I can't tell you. You can't quantify that. That's not material. But if you don't want to believe that because it's just something I'm saying, you know, then that's on you. Because someday, someone's going to tell you they love you, and you're going to say, well, I don't know if you do because you can't, that's not material. Eventually, you're going to have faith in something. Because if you don't have faith in even that, then I think that maybe your life is going to be kind of difficult. But I don't know.
Wow. Well, I'm mostly speechless, and I guess you got to my question, and thank you for sharing, because that is an incredible. I mean, and like you said, you can tell me, you could talk to me about it for hours, but because I didn't experience specifically, you know, what you did. So that's, I mean, and that's the thing. I believe stuff like that. I believe, and you know, you read about people who have like near death experiences, or like after death experiences, and that, I guess that's something that you experience. Like, I believe in all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you've definitely warmed me up to that, because, and I'll say my words came across as I was more of an NPC than obviously I know myself to be.
Right. Which is fine. I mean, that's fine. Whatever. That's standard
yeah.
protocol of reality. That's standard protocol.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, and you were. I am young. I'm 20 years old. So
yeah, I know.
I have a lot of life, and I definitely don't think that I have everything figured out. But
well, that's the first step, right? Like not even, you know, not even that you have everything figured out. It's not. It's more about just have a little bit of an open mind. That can really change your life, right? Like, you know, I've had outside of the whole, you know, Jesus thing or whatever, I've had experiences, excuse me, that are so coincidental that saner people than me have been institutionalized for much less. We can put it that way. And like, you know, whatever, you know, like I know that people, here's the deal. People think that I'm like a little kooky, a little whatever. I'm extremely educated. I have various degrees. I dropped out of a master's program. Like, I'm not just like a crazy guy on the internet making videos. There's a lot more to it. I mean, I am that, if you want to think that, but.
And you play into that. I know you play into that a little bit in your videos. You know?
A lot more than people would like to probably admit to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you know, it is what it is. This is a form of entertainment, whether or not people want to admit that. This is entertainment. You know what I mean?
True.
But I am entertaining with, you know, the things that I research and the things that I know to be true and the things that I don't make anyone believe anything I say. They do that on their own. But because of the research and because of how either convincing or not convincing it is, right? Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And that's kind of all there is to it. But yeah, dude, like, advice, if I was just going to give you advice, not that you asked for it, man to man, just not everything needs to be quantifiable and right in front of you, because, you know, would you say you have a mom, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Would you say that your mom loves you?
Of course, yeah.
Would you say
like no?
would you
I
say
can
you,
feel. I can sense feelings. Like I.
No, I'm not saying
I related to
right.
your point about the marriage.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But I'm just saying, you know, like just keep an open mind, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, maybe I need to tap into that more. So.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. But thank you for your calls. I appreciate it.
Yep, only the 2 calls. That was
only
me. But I appreciate you coming around, man.
Yeah, you're cool.
Thanks
You're
for
cool,
your
dude,
time
Michael.
and thanks for your wisdom.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you. Yeah, you're good. God bless you, brother. Have a good one, dude.
Yeah, you too. Have a good night.
All right, cool. Well, there we go. There we go. Settled it. We settled it. It's been settled. Maybe maybe I'm just fucking. I don't know, dude. I don't know anything anymore. That's funny, man. That's when you're young like that, you think that you know fucking everything. And not that he does. I'm not talking about him. But like when you're young, when I was fucking young, I thought I knew everything, dude. I thought I knew everything. Bad spirits are also very frequently real people, aka humans, aka your neighbors. Absolutely. Yeah, they are. There's a spiritual component to literally everything, and people don't want to admit that. And when I say everything, I mean everything, every minute thing, you know. But all right, guys, it's been a minute, dude. I've been streaming for 3.5 hours. This is a long one. But yeah, that's what we got today. I hope you guys had fun. If you haven't seen the Sabrina Carpenter video, I would be surprised if you haven't at this point. If you haven't, go ahead and check that out. If you're not in the Patreon, go ahead and check the Patreon out. The Patreon, there is a free tier if you're a brokey. A lot of people say that they're brokies. There is a free tier. The long theories are back and they're going to be better than ever. Higher production value. There's a ton of stuff. You too, Michael. Have a good night, brother. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in. Let's get a quick prayer. Super quick. Our Father, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come. Or what am I doing? Our Father. Sorry, I'm kind of jumbled up because of that. It's been a crazy night. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever and eternally. Everybody in this stream, God, let them have a nice weekend. We're moving into the weekend. Let us have a nice weekend. Allow us to make connections if we're seeing friends or family. Allow us to be safe if we're going to be partying. I'm not, but others might be. Allow them to be safe, and please be with us throughout every single decision we make. All right. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys. God bless.